and call it a race start? Because we've never done that before.
No, we never have. We've never called the practice as a race start.
Yeah, this is how we used to do it.
Okay.
5 heats, because it's now basically one half and we're going to race in the first 3.
Yeah. So are the grids all basically going to be mirrored because you've got an even number?
It's not going to be far.
As long as they remember we're going down and doing the practice. Hello, I'm here on the Grove, but Jesus.
Why are these drivers driving at me?
I'm going to get away with Brandon.
No.
Brandon wasn't free for comment.
There been any shocks today? I don't think. Howard, have you got your earpiece on? Ooh, come on, Heather Watson.
Sorry, this is Carl. Sorry.
Come on, Heather Watson.
Andrew, we're peaking.
Oh, we're peaking.
That's in a good way.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Whilton Mill on a very, very pleasant summer's evening here in Northamptonshire. Welcome to round 5 of the 2017 Northampton Karting League. My name's Andrew Mather. I'm in the commentary box once again with Howard Mitchell. Howard, well, we couldn't have had a much different set of weather conditions and makeup for tonight's racing compared to last time out in round 4. But what are you expecting tonight here at Whilton Mill?
Well, bang on there, Andrew. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Absolute contrast to last month. July's trying to make up for June. We had a deluge last time out, but this time the sun is shining. There's a few clouds in the sky, but that's fine. No problems with that. I think we're going to see some great racing. We're going to see, well, that goes without saying, actually, with this series, it has to be said, but we're on the international layout tonight, as we were last time.
Yep.
And it's going to be the dry on the international layout. So potentially there are still some drivers out there who haven't done this. They haven't done the international layout with this funny stuff called grip that occurs in the dry. So I think it could be very interesting. We had our reigning champion of this series sit out the last round.
Yep.
You've had a slight chance to look over the order. Is he here this evening? Or is he sitting this round out as well?
Oh, you've caught me off guard.
I'm
there.
sorry.
Yes, he's here.
He's here, right. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Andy Spencer does this evening, coming back into it. He picked, in some ways, I don't know what he's like in the wet. I'm sure he's very good. But in some ways, he picked a good round to miss as his drop score because of the uncertainty that the wet brings. So I think we'll see the usual protagonists at the front, the likes of Brandon Williams, who won last time out, James Saunders, Dante Dillon had a really good round last time out in the wet. I think we'll see those people at the front again. But there'll be a few people trying this out for the first time, no doubt, and they've picked a lovely day for it. Other than that, Andrew, just the usual wonderful wheel-to-wheel racing we always get with the NKL.
Good evening to everyone on the D&M Removals the Northants Waste Control live stream. I can see a couple of the comments coming in already. Good evening to Colin, who's wishing Darren good luck. Good afternoon. Good evening to Greg, who was racing with us last time. He says happy birthday to Matthew Clark. Hope he does well. And good evening to Tracy as well, who is supporting Stuart Hoyle. Now, we should say slight format change tonight. We're up to 6 heats. We've got 53 drivers racing this evening here at Whilton Mill. So tonight we're kind of going back to how things used to be in the NKL, in that we're having a practice, as you can see on screen right now, then a heat with the same set of drivers, then another practice and another heat, practice, heat. That'll bring us to the end of heat 3. Everyone will have raced once. And then we go into heats 4, 5, 6, which is everybody's second races. Still random grids in those heats. So if you start on pole for race 1, you'll start at the back for your second race, whether it be heat 4, 5, or 6. If you get starting in the middle, say around 9th or 10th place, you'll be there for both races. And vice versa. If you start at the back for your first race, you'll be at the front for your second. So looking at some of the names on the order for Heat 1 here, currently out doing their practice. Brandon Williams out there. Winner last time out in round 4 in the A final, leading the championship with a good lead at the moment of I think around 50 points. So look out for him. Slavik Piskors is out there in our D&M Removals weighted class. Very, very tight scrap in that one for the honours there. So we'll keep an eye out on that through the evening.
Something else we should mention as well early on here is we've got a few winners to announce throughout the evening's proceedings. There's been a couple of competitions run by the NKL recently, and we're, I think, going to take the opportunity in the practice sessions, because we're in the unusual position of covering the practices, of course, with this different format. So I think during those we will we will announce the winners of those competitions.
Yep.
So, just in case the racing wasn't good enough, which it will be, I'm very confident of that. We're gonna be announcing some winners. If you're anybody who went over to see Luke and James at their stand at the Northampton Festival, yes, indeed. Sorry, Luke's just prompted us from the door there. If any of you went up to them at that festival to find out about the NKL, thank you for taking an interest. And if you put your name down for the competition, then brilliant stuff. Andrew, are we towards the end of this practice session?
We are. What I did want to do was quickly, in fact, yeah, do you want to do the first one whilst I run down the championship order?
Yes. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. So I'm just checking I've actually got the names here for that grid. So yes, I'll head down there.
Good. So Howard's going to head down to the grid. We're going to have our first chat with some of the drivers tonight. Remember, the first heat, all the heats are random grids. So if for particular drivers at the front of the grid, it's time for them to be the star of the show. Meantime, let's have a quick rundown of our, let's go top 10 of the championship after 4 rounds. We're into the second half of the championship. My goodness, hasn't it gone quickly in 2017. But as we mentioned earlier, Brandon Williams currently leads the championship with 555 points. That's a 52-point lead over James Saunders in second. Dante Dillon ran very well last time out. He's third in the championship on 473. Fourth is Carl Spencer. Fifth, Chris King. They're on 466 and 455 respectively. Matt Spencer is sixth overall and currently leads the championship in the D&M Removals weighted class on 444 points. Only 9 points ahead of seventh placed overall Connor Marsh. 8th place is Matthew Clark on 399. 9th place is Owen Burton on 383. And interestingly, 10th overall, but having sat out the last round, is last year's champion and winner. The last time he was here, he won round 3, but he's in 10th place on 366 points. We should also mention as well, as we get towards the nitty-gritty part of the end of the season, of the 8 rounds that we have in the NKL in 2017, 7 of those count towards the final championship score. So for the likes of Andy Spencer, who maybe not have sat out a round, that won't affect them come the end of the season. So the drivers now on the back straight, waiting for the marshals to call them round and get them into grid order for the start of this race, this first heat of the evening here at Whilton Mill. I can see the first of the drivers. I think it's Richard Olive on pole position for this one. But as we say, very competitive field. Lewis Diamond I can see here again. He's had a bit of an up and down season so far this season. But very, very quick. Perhaps a dark horse for this evening. Really good to see another bumper field here for the Northampton Karting League. 53 drivers entering round 5. So if you're just joining us, I think that's the biggest field we've had so far this season. And as a result, there's going to be more racing tonight. 6 heats of 8 minutes or 8 laps. And then 3 finals as well, a C, a B and an A final, of course. Chances for those drivers in the C and the B finals, by winning those respective finals, to move up. It's unlikely, but it is possible to go from the C up to the A final. So the drivers coming around, I can see Brandon Williams parking up there, gold helmet in P7. I can't actually see Howard at the moment. I'm not sure if we are going to get a chat with the drivers down on the grid. In fact, no, because he's right here with me. So last drivers coming round to file up the grid. The grid then, Richard Olive on pole position, Ragazin on P2, Moulton P3, Dan Fox in P4, Chris White in P5, Andreas Savitauskas P6, Brandon Williams P7, Daniel Burgess P8, Richard Welch, P9, Andrew Strikes, your top 10. Full grid now formed then for the first start. 8 laps on the counter for this first race of the evening here at Whilton Mill. Look out for the likes of Slavek Piskors. He's far down the order on this random grid. Lewis Diamond, as we say, on the back row there. Look out for him charging through. So just waiting now for the drivers to receive the call to start this first race of the evening. This first heat. All these races counting for championship points, remember, as we work through the season. Just potentially a little bit of an issue with Kart 5.
Just whilst we're waiting, apologies we weren't able to bring the grid walk. We're trying a new setup this evening. And I'm guessing it now works because we're seeing these brilliant camera shots from the grid, but we were just having a few issues down there then, so hopefully we'll be able to get drivers' thoughts for the rest of the heats.
Eyes on the lights. Here we go then. Round 5 of the NKL for 2017 is... Not quite go.
No.
Got all excited there. A few more troubles with Kart 5, and Kart 5 possibly going to have a change. Apologies, folks. Eyes on the lights, second time, round 5 of the NKL for 2017 is go, and it's a good start from Richard Olive in P1. He sweeps across and takes the lead. Good start for Lewis Diamond as well. He's already made up about 5, maybe 6 positions as they all stream up towards Christmas Corner for the first time this evening. Clean start there, Howard, good to see.
Yeah, good challenge for second here as well. I believe that's... sorry, Andrew, it is... I'm not quite sure who that is who's just challenged for second, is that?
It might be Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams is all the way, and he's going to take the lead. He's going to take the lead. Started P7. Brandon Williams, championship leader, already leads here at Whilton Mill in round 5.
And there's the usual battling for every single inch through the midfield as well, as is standard in go-kart sprint racing, not least here at Whilton Mill. But look at the... And Brandon Williams, Andrew, has already got an impressive gap.
Absolutely.
Considering he only took the lead about 3 or 4 corners ago. Lewis Diamond trying up the inside into the boot as well.
And he started from the back of the grid, so that's a brilliant first lap for Lewis. He's already up to, I reckon, 6th position.
So, at the end of lap 1, it's Brandon Williams leading ahead of Richard Olive, who was your pole sitter. Andrew Strikes is in 3rd, Carl Spencer 4th, Jonathan Moulton 5th, Lewis Diamond 6th, 7th is Daniel Burgess, Andreas Zavastauskas 8th, and Aaron Shelton and Chris King round up the top 10.
Change for 2nd place. Strikes past Richard Olive. So good move there from the driver, in the number 11 kart.
He needs to get that on the t-shirt.
He does. But Brandon Williams leads this one clear, and I'm tempted to say, Howard, on the form that he's had so far this season, I don't think anyone's going to catch him in this one.
Look at this for second though, Andrew. Strikes is already onto the back of Richard Olive, and I think he's looking racy here. It's not quite
he's already got the move done, Howard. He got it done up at Christmas last time around. End of lap 2 then.
Side by side into the final corner here.
I think that's Carl Spencer moving by.
Yes, sorry. So Strikes and Spencer have both moved up past Richard Olive there. So it's now Brandon Williams ahead of Andrew Strikes, ahead of Carl Spencer. Lewis Diamond's doing a brilliant job. You can see him on screen now with the very noticeable red helmet.
Down the hill then, and Lewis Diamond now really closing in on Richard Olive. Looks like he's going to set up a move for 4th position any moment now, as you see them on screen, or they did see him on screen for a moment. Here they are again, coming onto the back straight. Oh, and Richard Olive runs a little bit wide there, and that's going to be like candy from a baby for Lewis Diamond, and yes, he's into 4th place.
Chris King, Aaron Shelton and Daniel Burgess were having a good little battle over the latter part of the top 10, and look at this side by side. That's Richard Olive, and was that Jonathan Moulton taking that place?
No, I think that's that Andy Spencer who's moved all the way up to 7th place now, with the Northants Waste Control sponsorship on his suit there.
Apologies, is Andy Spencer in this field?
Yes, because he's in P7, isn't he? Sorry, no, it's Aaron Shelton. Apologies.
Look at this, Lewis Diamond now under pressure from Chris King. He holds on to it through Ashby. This battling is allowing the top three to pull away here. I'd say it's going to be difficult for the people currently not in the podium positions to get it. And look at this, side by side for fourth as they come down the back straight. Oh, and Lewis Diamond was very decisive there. He wasn't in any mood to give the opportunity there to Chris King as they round the boot.
Chris King currently fifth in the championship. Very, very solid start to his season. He's looking up the inside of Diamond into turn one. Can he make the move stick? That's a brave move there. Trying to hang it around the outside now. Can he get the traction up the hill to Christmas? He has, and he's going to make that move for fourth stick, Howard. That was a brilliant move.
What a night. That was lovely. I enjoyed watching that one. That's not one you see very often. Really good move by Chris King there. And Lewis Diamond, Andrew, is not an easy driver to pass, so fair play there as we've now got Richard Olive with Aaron Shelton for company. Aaron currently the highest running driver in the D&M Removals weighted class within this heat, so he's running well.
Meanwhile, front of the field, Brandon Williams comes round to finish another lap. There he goes across past us at start finish. The lead is probably going to be around 5 seconds, and it is indeed 5.045. Here's Piscors having a look up the inside, trying to break his way through the top 10, having a battle with I think that's South
Is it Moulton or
no, I think yes, you're right, it is Moulton, Jonathan Moulton there in P8.
And they're still at it, Andrew, as they go through Christmas Corner. Really nice shot there as they came up the hill. And look out as well for the number 6. That is Andreas Zavastauskas looking to capitalise on this. This is a nice battle for the latter part of the top 10. This is currently over 8th place.
Zavastauskas had an eventful time last time out. I think, if I remember correctly, came through the C final, winning that. Had a good race in the B final as well. Oh, big, massive load of curb there for Jonathan Moulton. That's going to compromise him down the back straight into the boot. And look out behind them for Daniel Burgess in the black and white. Daniel Burgess up the inside. Oh, little side pod to pod there.
I think we'd call that road bust.
Yes, on Savatauskas. But Burgess is through, and that's going to be 10th place.
Brandon Williams sets the fastest lap of this race, and therefore the fastest of the evening so far, 55.997. Andrew, he's in a class of his own. That's a second faster than anybody else.
Yes, the lead now 6 seconds for your championship leader, as he's already coming into the back straight.
And still the battle rages on over 8th and 9th place. Yeah, I'm not sure the driver's too happy there, is he? Now, is this?
This is Burgess.
This is Burgess, yeah. Not overly happy with the conduct of the driver in the number 9. Oh, sorry, Daniel Burgess is in the number 9, and it's yes, it's the number 6, which is Zavastauskas. There we go. I knew I recognised the helmet. I was just
And Andrew Brown looks like he's popping through now in the black and fluorescent yellow helmet there, and the tinted visor in the number 19.
Interesting to see the increased confidence of the racers in the dry conditions through that last corner. We saw very few overtakes into that corner in the wet, but 2 months ago, of course, it was overtake central. We are on the last lap of this, the first heat then, and Brandon Williams is strolling this way. He's just in a, as we said, a class of his own. He's just got to guide it round the last few corners, and he's going to get his round 5 off to a perfect start.
Well, a relatively simple victory then for our championship leader. Last time out, he took the win in round 4. Brandon Williams starts round 5 with a win in Heat 1 here at Whilton Mill this evening. We wait for second, third and fourth. Here they come over the line now. It's going to be a very impressive second place there for Andrew Strikes. Chris King brings it home in third ahead of Carl Spencer fourth. Lewis Diamond fifth. And the rest of the field now streaming through. P6 was Aaron Shelton, first of the D&M Removals weighted class drivers home and across the line. Pole sitter Richard Olive in the end was 7th. Slavik Piscors, good drive there from the back of the field to 8th. Jonathan Moulton 9th, and Andreas Savatauskas in 10th. Andrew Brown 11th, Barry Johnson 12th, Daniel Burgess 13th, Dan Fox 14th, Richard Welch 15th, Alex Ragazin in 16th, and Chris White P17. As an enjoyable first race for the evening.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. One might, a cynic might say that the lead, the win was quite a dominant one, but there was some fantastic battling throughout the field, to be honest with that one, particularly through the latter part of the top 10. And Brandon Williams has been very impressive so far this year, so in some ways I would have expected nothing less, though I guarantee that the rest of the races won't all be that spaced out for the lead. So nice one to start us off, and we'll now head into the second practice session. So this is where we deviate from the usual schedule. If you're a regular follower of the Northants Waste Control live stream and the NKL in general, if you are, very great, thank you for doing that. But we're now gonna, well, actually, I say we're gonna deviate from what we usually do. This is in fact what we used to do, but we're going back, revisiting it now because of the really strong entry list for this round. And who can blame all the people turning out for this round, because it's really nice weather. It's probably the number of people who thought they'd have it last month. But 53 runners here, and that means we're going to have the 6 heats. So we now, rather than going into the second heat, we're running practice race, practice race, practice race, and then the 3 remaining heat races. So slight change to the schedule, but it means that we get a little bit of downtime. And I think I'm going to use, as I think Andrew's just going down to check that we're going to be okay to do the next grid walk for you. I'm not sure I should go straight for announcing the winner. The practice session hasn't even begun yet. You can see Jamie Desira is out in this one. He's an experienced driver round here. Look out for him in this one. But yes, bear in mind, don't look out for him. Well, you by all means look out for him, but this is going to be a practice session first off here. So this is the driver's opportunity to get used to the track. Give us an opportunity as well to talk about the layout we're using here. It's the international layout, so you would have seen in that last heat race, rather than taking the right turn at Inkerman's, the hairpin turn, then and then going through the Zulus, we instead use a quick right-hand kink at Inkerman's and go into the Ashby hairpin, and then we head to Parker's, and that's very embarrassing. Chapman's, thank you. My goodness, I've been able to remember that for years doing work with the University of Birmingham Motor Racing Club. Oh dearie me. But yes, Jamie Desira's in this one, as are the likes of Brandon Kane and Peter Horsley. Pedro Baptista is in this one. He's often one to look out for. And our reigning champion, Andy Spencer, is taking to the track in an NKL capacity, at least, for the first time since May. Right, now they're underway. I think we're good to announce the first winner. So they were at the, I've got to name this as the Northampton Festival?
Yes.
County Festival.
Just
Festival. Yesterday were Luke and James, and perhaps Ian as well. And my colleague is going to resolve a different technical hitch this time. This time it is power to all of the laptops here in the box so we can bring you all the information. Right. People were invited to note down their details at the NKL stand, and a winner would be selected at random, and the winner would get a £200 Whilton Mill voucher, which...
Very nice.
I wish I'd have gone. I would have put my name in for this one.
I don't think we're allowed.
Are we not?
No.
I suppose so. Anyway, I'll confess I'm not entirely sure how many names they got down, but it was a popular festival. Feedback was good. A lot of people coming up to the stand, so thanks for that. Oh, I was just hearing how many, and then I didn't catch the number. 168 I'm getting here. That's
not bad.
That's not bad. So thank you for everyone who came up to the stand at the festival yesterday, and everyone in particular who put their name and details down for this competition. So the winner of the £200 Whilton Mill voucher, I don't know if we should have a
Drum roll,
drum roll of
please.
some description, but the winner is Mark West. So Mark West, if you're listening, watching
Congratulations.
here at the track,
You've
congratulations.
got £200 to spend at Wilton Mill.
Yeah,
Bring your friends.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that, absolutely. With £200, you'll become a very popular man. I'm sure a more popular man.
And you already are.
Popular people are going to the Northampton. If you're going to the Northampton Festival, you're a popular person, right? So,
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll try and make this less cheesy. Well done, Mark. You've won £200 in Whilton Mill spending vouchers. The organisers at the NKL will be in touch. So if you're watching, congratulations and enjoy. And meanwhile, we're hoping to enjoy in about 2.5 minutes the second heat of this, the 5th round of the 2017 Northampton Karting League. The drivers just out on track, getting the lay of the land, as it were. I don't think the track has changed that much, but as I say, dry conditions here. This is only the second round this year that we have raced on the international layout here at Whilton Mill, and the first time was in very different weather conditions. So we've had a lot of new drivers this season. Shout out to all of them. It's brilliant to have them along, but potentially some drivers trying this out for the first time.
I think I've noted down that our P2 driver for this next race is at least the first time this year. I can't see his name on the current championship standings. That being Mr. Tom Nill. So I'll try and catch a word with him.
Yep.
Down on the grid. Do you want to do this one, or shall I do this one?
Well,
Because yours was a bit of a non-start.
Well, true, but I'm happy to keep with the system. It's a Monday evening. My head isn't quite capable of doing. Ooh, that's a nice move for a practice session we've just seen on the screen. Jamie Desira and who is in the? Do we know who's in the number 6 at this stage? I don't think we do.
Not at the moment.
No, we will do when they line up before the race start, but we haven't got timings with names up here on the practice session. There's Pedro Baptista. He'll be a name that's familiar to those of you who've been following the Northants Waste Control live stream so far throughout 2017, and indeed the streaming that was done during last season as well.
Yep.
There was some rounds streamed then, and Pedro has been with the championship for a number of years, I believe I'm correct in saying. So he's always, I find he's always an entertaining driver to watch, and I do mean that in a good way. You know, he tries some really innovative overtakes and all that sort of stuff. I love this camera. This camera's great going down into the boot section. So here,
give us a wave, drivers.
Yeah, or a rock-on symbol, anything really. Bonus points for that. Well, we don't really have the authority to award actual bonus points, but you know. So this is one of the heaviest braking zones on the circuit. We should talk about down into the boot. That combined with Ashby and Christmas Corner. Oh, and also down into Chapman's, as well as another braking zone. So 4 braking zones really here on the international layout. Practice is over, so the drivers will now begin to line up on the starting grid. And it is this point that Mr. Mather of NKL Karting commentary fame will make his way down to the grid. And hopefully with our mobile camera, you can see him. There's Luke with the mobile camera. He's hopefully going to be able to bring us live pictures and audio from down on the grid. Nice to see plenty of people turning up this evening in the nice weather to support friends and family out on track. Always good to see. We've actually had a good presence of spectators throughout the year, but I think this might be a particularly popular round. Last of the carts just coming round then to end the practice session. And I believe it's time to we're ready to head down to the grid. So I'm waiting to Apologies, we're just double checking that we are going to be able to hear Andrew. It'd be rather awkward if he spoke to you. Okay, apologies folks, we're still having a few technical gremlins down on the grid. I think we've got the video, so it's getting the audio at the right quality matched up with the video at the same time. New setup that we're trying out this evening, as I say. We are loving the shots that we're able to bring you with the new camera though. You just saw some of them in the practice session. The braking zone down to the boot, that was brilliant to see, I love seeing that. This then is going to be the second race, another heat race. So we have the 6 heat races leading up to the 3 finals. Points from the heats determine the grids for the finals, but the heats count for championship points. Your grid then: Paul Finnegan on pole, Tom Nill, who we believe is a newcomer, is going to be on second, Peter Horsley will be third, Brandon Kane fourth, fifth will be Pedro Baptista, Ben Hamlet will be sixth, Jamie Desira will line up seventh, Dante Dillon, who had a brilliant round last time out, will be eighth, Tim Morangan will be ninth, Robbie Harris 10th. I haven't got a first name, is that Fraser Edge? In 11th, I believe. And Jamie Tyler 12th, Darren Kirk 13th, Owen Burton 14th, Matthew Clark 15th, Nigel Dunkley 16th. And then the back row of the grid. Is that another newcomer?
It is a newcomer.
We're just checking the end. Again, we haven't got a first name there. That's O. Ellis Richardson. We don't have the first name there. And Andy Spencer, our reigning champion, starts from 18th at the back.
Change of carts going on. I believe that's Richard Olive. Sorry, no. Pedro Baptista. I don't know where Richard Olive came from.
I believe you're correct. We will get the first names of the drivers who we just didn't manage to. Don't worry, they'll come through in our box in a moment. We'll let you know. But here we are then, lining up. This will be these drivers, of course, this will be these drivers' first heat race of the evening.
Interesting grid, this one. I would say, what shall we say? It's probably at least 5 drivers with race-winning pedigree. Get your words right, Andrew. But no, 5 drivers that I would not be surprised if they came to the front and won this.
Agreed.
But not all of them can win this race. And there still could be a surprise or 2 along the way.
Interesting question for me, Andrew, is how high up the field can Andy Spencer get?
I'd say top 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against it.
He is one of the 5.
Absolutely, and we've seen him do some superb racing. It was he, was it not, who executed the brilliant A final a couple
2
of
rounds
ago to take the overall round win. Now in shot in the number 26 kart on your Northants waste control. So keep an eye out for this man. Quite a distinctive helmet. We're pretty sure you won't miss him as he heads on up through the field, which I feel is somewhat inevitable. Ellis Richardson alongside there.
He looks fast.
He looks fast, doesn't he? He's got the gear. We're about to find out if he has the idea. We're just waiting for Pedro Baptista to receive his new kart, and it comes out. It's the number 24. Beautifully navigated into position by the Whilton Mill Marshal. Right, so with Baptista in the kart, I believe we're going to look straight to the lights. Eyes front, 8 laps on the countdown. And we go here at Heat 2. It's a decent start from pole. In fact, both of the front row runners have a good start. But look at this from second row. That's Peter Horsley, I believe, who's going to challenge for the lead alongside. And he's got him round the outside of turn 2. Well, that's 2 significant moves round the outside of turn 2 we've seen this evening. Pedro Baptista as well making good moves. He's up to second. Who's got a spinner?
Is that Dante
Oh,
Dillon gone?
I think it is. I think that was Dante who went round. Yes, I think you're right, Andrew. So quite a big faller there. Jamie DeZero, I see, is up to fourth.
Ellis Richardson up pulling his way through the field there. You can see him in the blue suit in the centre of your shot. So he's already made up about, well, 6-7 positions. That's a very good start for our NKL newcomer.
And Pedro Baptista side by side with Peter Horsley for the lead here, Andrew. He's going to try around the outside of the boot. He'll have the inside for the next corner, and it works for him. So Pedro Baptista up to first place as they come round to finish the first lap. Crossing the line, there's a few contact warnings being shown, but on the whole, that lap was a decent one for most of the field.
So it's Baptista from Horsley, Hamlet, Desira, who's your current leader in the D&M Removals weighted class, Tim Morangan, Tom Nill, Jamie Tyler. He's had some good results so far this year. And look at this battle going on here for, I think, over third place between Ben Hamlet. Ben Hamlet's now fallen down to fifth place. Jamie Desira up to third.
Baptista goes wide, Andrew. Our leader goes wide through Ashby, and it's going to give Peter Horsley a look in, but I don't think he's going to make anything of it. He hasn't got the inside line for the next corner, so Baptista holds on to it, but signs that he's feeling the pressure already, and the top five are nose to tail here as they come onto the back straight.
Well, this is a brilliant start to Heat 2. Baptista leading, but look at Jamie Desira, who myself and Howard know well from Oxford Brooks Racing and the BUKC. He's having a storming drive, as Tim Morangan has a little moment there in P5, but he's had a storming drive so far. This is the second time this season he's been in the NKL, and at the moment showing his pedigree.
We said that Oliver Ellis Richardson looked fast, Andrew. He is fast. He's up to 8th already after just 2 laps of racing. In fact, he's giving Andy Spencer a bit of a lesson in how to move through the field here. And look at this. Bit of bumping and barging as they come out of Christmas there.
And Jamie Tyler in the black and white trying to come through and forcing Tim Morangan wide. Well, both of them somehow kept it on the road, but that was a forceful move there from Tyler. Ellis Richardson now trying to move through, and as the inside, that's a brilliant move.
That's up on Tom Nill, that was. Although Nill holding his own, he's had a good few laps here in this heat, so if this is his first experience of the NKL, he's doing himself proud so far. Look at this, Jamie DeZira challenging for the lead.
Great move.
Up. That was very decisive, and that was a brilliant move. Through the boot, classic. You could either try, you can try up the inside of the first part, but more often than not, it seems to be more successful to do the second part. That was a move of experience around here, to say the least, Andrew.
Absolutely, I've seen Jamie do many a move like that. That was pretty classic from him. And now a D&M Removals weighted class driver leads in this heat.
Pedro Baptista is not going to take this one lying down, though, Andrew. He's keeping Jamie honest for the moment. Peter Horsley as well, he's having a really good heat. He's currently in third, which is where he began, and that's not something you can say of most of the people still running in this race. We've got an incident at Ashby. The yellow's gone back in now. Didn't quite see who that was. It was towards the back. Even though we did have a spinner on the first lap in the form of Dante Dillon, they're actually all pretty much, they're not really spread out the field, Andrew. They're pretty close all the way through.
But the pace is very good. I mean, Dante's only made his way back to 15th place. Andy Spencer currently just inside the top 10.
Absolutely.
Owen Burton, he's, Spencer now moves up to 9th place. But Owen Burton, another name I would have expected to see coming through the field potentially quite quickly, is only P11 at the moment.
Andrew, we need to rent out our fast radar to Formula 1 teams, because Ollie Ellis Richardson, who we said looked fast, is setting the fastest pace out there. He's just set the fastest lap of the race, a 56.761. That's going to help him move up the order here, and you can see him in shot now. He's about to be challenging
Tim Morangan there.
Yep.
In the mainly white helmets with the black and red hoops there.
And here
up
he goes.
inside. And Ellis Richardson is going to force his way through. And another good move there by the driver of the number 30, up to 6th place now. 3 laps to go in the second heat here at Whilton Mill. It's round 5 of the Northampton Karting League for 2017. Your leader is not just leading his class in the D&M Removals weighted class, but leading this race. Jamie DeZira by 0.7 of a second now over Pedro Baptista in second. Peter Horsley having one of his best shows of the year so far. The spin for Tim Morangan down at the Ashby hairpin. Oh my goodness, that's a huge impact there. And I think the driver's okay. He's on his feet. He's fine. Wow, that was a scary moment. Red flag there, and that's the correct decision.
Yeah, agreed.
So, apologies, folks. That was quite an incident.
Is. Sorry.
We'll just hold fire until we know who it is. Tim Morangan is still sat in his cart. The driver who rolled is okay. He's walking away.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
I think I know who it is.
I
thought it was.
Was it Tom Nill?
No,
actually, no. We should wait until we know for sure who it is. So the drivers now making their way round to start finish.
I can't see the number 2 cart, Andrew, so I think you might have been correct. I think that was Tom Nill.
Well, he's sat down at the moment. I think he's just a little bit shocked. Tim Morangan is okay, I think, because he's driving on his way back to the pits.
Now that all began, and this isn't me partitioning blame at all, because it all began, I think, with an attempt by Ellis Richardson for fifth place.
He was ahead of Morangan.
Yeah, I think he was challenging Jamie Tyler, because all three of them were together on track. Tyler, Ellis Richardson, and Morangan were all together on track, and Ellis Richardson tried. It was a perfectly fair overtake attempt into Ashby, but I think it all just the move at the inside caused Tyler to move left. I think it was Tyler, and then Morangan was on the outside, and I think he just went into a spin, sort of in sympathy for the move. So, but of course, as Morangan tried to pull the cart round, it is difficult to make that call, Andrew, when you're facing the wrong way. You're torn between getting the cart facing the right way and carrying on with your race versus holding back and allowing the field to go by so you can be absolutely certain that you're safely on your way. Good to see this, Andrew. Good to see the driver.
Smile on his face.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit surprised at what just happened, but
I'm surprised at what's just happened. I've never seen one of these carts do that.
No, I agree. That was a bit of a scary one to see, but
I'll be honest on it, Howard. I'm not sure what we do now. I mean, we've got 3 laps to go on this one, and
I mean, I don't want to apportion. When I said that it began as a move from Ellis Richardson, that's not me in any way causing blame, because it was a legitimate move. It was all to do with, but that was what caused Morangan to go round.
Yep.
And
the other problem down into that corner as well. To put myself in Nill's shoes, because it's downhill. It sounds cliche anyway. It's hard to get something stopped down there, and when you've committed to your line, you can't really
easily do anything. No,
you can't change your racing line as you're going through that corner.
Yes, sorry to speak. Particularly when you're doing the speeds that these guys are. We were talking about how impressive this pace is. This is a strong field. I was just before the incident occurred, I was watching Baptista doing his line through there, and it's so aggressive.
Yeah.
So aggressive is the braking and turning that these drivers are doing that there's really not a lot they can do when they arrive on the scene. But no, that wasn't a nice thing to see at all. These carts aren't light, just in case you were wondering. So really good to see Tom Nill. And as we say, we think that's his first, at least his first round this year.
Yeah.
May even be his first experience of the NKL. I'm going to guess from his pace, not his first experience of these carts at this track. But either way, good to see him walking away. And yeah, it was a difficult one. It's all to do with when the driver calls.
So the yellow flag is being waved.
Yeah, so I think we are going to go with the rest of the race here, Andrew.
So we are now back to green. 2 laps to go then of this 2-part second heat for the evening. In fact, well, we might go over. It might just be this final lap because we've gone past 8 minutes. We'll have to wait and see.
Are we back under race conditions already, Andrew?
I think we are.
We are.
Yes.
So this is Jamie Desira from Pedro Baptista, and this is a good. Pedro's got to be sort of fancying, that sort of thing can throw the psychology off a bit with the leader. Although Jamie is a very experienced racer.
Got to say, Peter Horsley, an ever-present so far this season, is having one of his best runs of the year so far. Still there in third place in the black suit and the blue helmet, ahead of this battle between Ben Hamlet and Ollie Ellis-Richardson. But there he is, going through the front of shot. On to the last lap then. Jamie Desira leads by half a second from Pedro Baptista. Here they are coming through turns 1 and 2 now. Up the hill to Christmas Corner. Can Baptista get any kind of slipstream on Desira? No, not that time. So that's one of the big opportunities to overtake done. And just as I say that, there goes Ellis Richardson up into 4th place.
I'm going to say as well, Dante Dillon, considering he had a first lap spin up to 11th, that's been a good comeback drive from him. He's managed to navigate his way through an aggressive and fast-paced field.
And in fact, the red flag will have helped him in a way because it bunched everything back together.
That's true. That's very true.
But here come the leaders then. Back straight into the boots for the last time in this heat. Round the second part of it now. Here comes Jamie Desira as there's a move being done there as Peter Horsley's being challenged for third. But Jamie Desira comes round and wins heat 2 in round 5 of the NKL for 2017. And look at this gaggle coming over the line. Baptista second, Hamlet third, Ellis Richardson fourth, Jamie Tyler fifth, Andy Spencer sixth. Poor Peter Horsley falls all the way down to 7th place.
I felt his pain just then, Andrew. He got put out wide coming out the second part of the boot, and that meant every man and his dog attempted to come up the inside on the final corner.
To finish off the order, Fraser Edge second on the road in the D&M Removals weighted class, 8th overall. 9th for Owen Burton, 10th Matthew Clark, 11th Dante Dillon, 12th Darren Kirk. Tim Orangan recovers to 13th, 14th for Paul Finnegan, 15th Brendan Kane, 16th Nigel Dunkley, 17th Robbie Harris, and 18th for Tom Nill, a retirement 2 laps down, but that doesn't matter. He's okay, he's walking, and hopefully we'll see him back out racing later on this evening.
Yeah, brilliant to see the comments coming in on Facebook saying it is good to see the driver okay. A lot of comments about it is a difficult call to make, as I say, when you've spun round, particularly that corner. People are downhill braking, they're actually coming in slightly faster than maybe you're thinking, and to make the judgment call of when you rejoin the racing line with your car is difficult. Possibly felt that because he was on the apex of a corner, people were sort of going slow anyway. But yeah, obviously it just wasn't quite the right call on this occasion from Morangan.
Yep.
But both drivers okay, and we switch over to Jamie Desira. Walks over to the paddock looking pretty happy. Oh, he's got some stories to tell to his mates down there. Already the two clenched fists are out to indicate. So I was holding onto the wheel like this, ... to tell a story. Anyway, after that dramatic second heat, we'll be moving into a third practice session, which will provide us with an opportunity to announce our other winner.
Yes.
But we'll wait until the practice session has got going for that. Who's in this next one?
Got our
Matthew
current
Spencer is in this one.
We've got our current second place man in the D&M Removals weighted class, Connor Marsh.
Yes, and our reigning champion in the D&M Removals class in the form of Matt Spencer. So people to look out for in that. James Saunders is in this one. He's currently third in the championship, if memory serves. So
Ronan Mackenzie Allen is another one to watch. You can see him there in the well, how to describe it, kind of little bit of fluorescent yellow in there, pink band around the top, a bit of blue on the bottom. Very notable helmet, but many colours. He had a good run, I think, 2 rounds ago, last time in the dry.
I'm just going to flag up this comment, Andrew, because the first thing to say, if it's going to... Will it beam up? which is
Beam
the message up onto the
Use the
live
force.
screen.
Oh dear, I'm crossing star-related.
It's okay.
franchises
I will
there.
do it the old-fashioned way and talk. Jason Whittle says on Facebook, "Well done, Whilton, for the quick red flag," and that's something that
Yes.
absolutely the right call. Good that they brought that out as soon as they were aware of an incident. That's when it counts to have good marshalling and good clerking of the course, and that is exactly what we saw. So fair play to them. Apologies if that now beams up halfway through the next race, because we've now sent that up to the screen.
So practice 3 begins. So 5 minutes for these drivers who will, I think they'll be glad to finally get out on circuit. It must have felt like an age so far this evening before they get a chance to run around. So 5 minutes, and then our third 8-lap heat of the evening.
Now, I know we're all enjoying the sunshine here, Andrew, but with that, I've just noticed the shadows are already getting quite long here.
Yeah.
It's actually coming up to 8 o'clock. We always lose a track of time with this championship, such as the racing. And we should say, actually, before that stoppage, that was there was a lot of robust moves in that race, but it was some, in my opinion at least, it was on the fair side with, it was firm and fair. Or firm but fair. I didn't feel too many people, at least up until that point. Well, no, I won't include that incident actually, because there was no malice in it. It was just a misjudgment and unfortunate timing. So I will say, it was people were being robust with their moves out there, but on the whole, it was good, firm, fair racing throughout the field. Really good battle between the top 5, really, for the lead of the race, and fair play to Jamie Desira, because that was not that was a strong field to win in, so he's rather staked his claim on this, the 5th round of the 2017 NKL season. Just hearing from Darren Kirk, who was a driver in that race, that the driver involved in that incident is fine.
Yep.
We've got a driver who spun out at Ashby. It is a difficult corner to stop yourself for. Ashby and Chapman's as well, downhill braking. Because Christmas corner is forgiving here, because it's uphill braking. So, gravity is helping you. And very often, it's difficult to get that does help a lot. People might not think it helps all that much, but it is actually, it does mean you can brake a lot later for that corner than many others, well, any others here on at this circuit, but quite a few corners around the country. You get a really good feeling going into Christmas. You can be really bold on the brakes. But then Ashby and Chapman's in comparison feels sort of clumsy in a way. So it is difficult. We need to do the winner. I've just can't forget that. Andrew, do you want to do this one, or are you?
Yep, one moment. Sorry.
That's fine.
So this,
crunching the numbers.
as many of you will be aware, Alpha Live, which is the new team put together with James, Luke, Ian, and very good friend of ours, Will Chew, at Alpha Timing and 3T Racing. We're recently up for an award in the first ever Worldwide Streaming Awards. Did very well, came 4th overall. And there was a prize on offer for simply voting for Alpha Live in that contest. Excuse me. And the award was a free NKL round for the winner, for voting for Alpha Live at the Streaming Awards. And the winner, I'm very, very glad to announce, is Matt Pierce. So congratulations, Matt. If you're watching the stream, you've got a free entry into the NKL. Luke and James will be in contact with you to arrange that, and we look forward to seeing you down here at Whilton Mill in a future round this year.
Yes, thank you to everyone who voted for the nomination in the Streaming Awards. We're really, really grateful for the support that we've been getting. Well, speaking as a pair, we've both been doing the BUKC and NKL this year. It's been fantastic and very humbling, I think, Andrew, for the support that we've got. So we really do appreciate it, and thanks to everyone who supported the nomination there. And just to recap over our previous winner, the winner of the £200 Whilton Mill voucher was Mark West as well. So Mark, if you're watching and weren't watching earlier, start partying because you've just won £200 of Whilton Mill vouchers. Although it's probably worth not having a party to the tune of £200, else you've rather negated the prize. But you could see that as, you've made your money back.
Live it large.
Yeah, go on, Mark. Treat yourself.
20 seconds to go in this last practice session of the evening to get drivers acclimatised before their first heat of the evening. I think Howard's Howard's not going to go downstairs.
I'm going to check.
Okay.
Check if I'm going downstairs on this one.
Okay. So the practice session has ended. We'll hopefully try and bring you a little bit of chat with the drivers down on the grid. Connor Marsh is on pole for this one. Be very interested to see how he's feeling ahead of this one as his battle in the D&M Removals weighted class carries on. He was a bit unlucky last time out in round 4. He was looking good for a strong result in the A final. But still got on the podium for the class, but not overall, which is a shame because for me he truly deserved an overall podium. But still a long way of this season to go. It's still 4 rounds before we see all the final trophies awarded. So drivers making their way to the dummy grid on the back straight now, and will then be called one by one to the grid for the start of Heat 3 out of 6. As normal, 8 laps or 8 minutes to decide the winner in this one. It's dry, it's beautiful, the sun is still out. It's a beautiful summer's evening here at Whilton Mill, so it will be 8 laps. Ronan Mackenzie-Allen's had a kart change. I could just see him going out in front of me from pit exit. Fingers crossed we'll have Howard down there in the moment to have a chat with some of our drivers. See James Saunders, I think, might be out there for this one. Ronan Mackenzie-Allen, as we've already mentioned. Drivers now coming round to start-finish for this 3rd heat out of 6 at Whilton Mill this evening for round 5 of the NKL. Great job by the Whilton Mill staff. The number 2 kart has been checked over and is fine and good to go again. Testament to the Sodi karts that they can be turned around that quickly. Good crowd here tonight at Whilton Mill. Good to see a lot of family members supporting the drivers. Just about half the grid formed up at the moment. There's Ronan Mackenzie-Allen coming into your shot right hand side on your picture. He'll start from 8th place in this one. Look out for him. We've seen him do some very good drives so far this season. You can see Matt Spencer coming round as well. Gareth Haynes in this one. The Oxford Brooks crew out in force again this evening. Hello, Howard.
Hello, Andrew. I have good
news.
I have good news and bad news. Good news is we have the audio all working. Bad news is that we aren't going to get the grid walk in squeezed in for this one because most of the grid is already formed up. So next race, hopefully. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, good for this one. Connor Marsh on pole, Rob Doomer in 2nd, Simon Cleaver 3rd, Kieran Shanks 4th, Andy Summers in 5th, Matt Spencer 6th, Paul Webster 7th, Ronan Mackenzie-Allen 8th. 9th, Tom Kitchener. 10th, Connor Brown. All eyes on the lights then. Heat 3 is go. It's green. It's not a good start from Connor Marsh. It's a very good start from Kieran Shanks there in P4, and he leads. What a fantastic start from Shanks. His eyes was on the lights, and he's jumped straight there into the lead. Ronan Mackenzie-Allen's had a good one as well. He's coming up the inside and may take 4th into Christmas Corner. Are they all going to make it through this time? They didn't in Heat 2. Yes, just about. All carts still running and pointing in the right direction. Down into Ashby. Connor Marsh looks like he's come back to the front after that not so good start. Battling with Shanks. Marsh trying to look round the outside through Chapman. Shanks retakes the lead. Brilliant first lap. Look at all of this lot coming through. Marsh and Shanks side by side, and Marsh looks like he's going to take the lead into the boot and end lap 1 in the lead.
That was a beautiful cutback he got through Chapman's, Andrew. Absolutely textbook, but he's got Shanks alongside again as they come into the final corner. Who's going to lead the first lap, let alone the race?
But look at Mackenzie-Allen, Howard, coming through. He's already up to 2nd place. As said, he'd be a threat in this one.
Sorry, were we wrong to call it Shanks being side by side in the final corner? I think it might have been Ronnie McKenney.
No, Ronan got through on the run out of the corner.
Oh, right, okay, it was that close. Blimey. Are we correct in saying that's Kieran Shanks' first race start in the NKL? I haven't seen that name on the order so far this year, so I think that might be his first appearance of 2017. What a start if it was.
Tom Kitchener coming through as well. He's up to 3rd place and challenging Mackenzie-Allen now for 4th as they go into Chapman's. This is allowing Connor Marsh to start to pull away on lap 2. Gareth Haynes coming through now as well. He's up to P5.
Virtually no field spreader hit at all here so far, Andrew.
And make that P4 now for Haynes. You can see him there in the blue suit and the white helmet. Wow, what a pulsating first 2 laps here in Heat 3. Connor Marsh leads by 0.8 of a second from Tom Kitchener. Ronan Mackenzie-Allen 3rd. Gareth Haynes now 4th. James Saunders is up to 5th.
Haynes challenging again for 3rd here, Andrew, into Christmas Corner, and he's got it. Although, is McKenney going to be able to get him back as they head towards Ashby? I think Haynes is just going to hold on. No, McKenney is going to try into Ashby, but it wasn't on there. Another good move from Haynes. This is another driver who you and I are familiar with, Andrew, through the BUKC, is it not?
Yeah.
In Gareth Haynes, but he's got plenty of attention from behind. Look at this, James Saunders, look out for him. He's one of our major protagonists in the championship. He's now all over the back of Ronan McKenney as they head into the boot, and this has allowed Gareth Haynes. Oh, and he's up the inside. That was beautiful from James Saunders. Opportunistic, but he's not been able to hold on to it. McKenney gets him straight back out the corner with a better run. Brilliant, brilliant racing in the top 10. In fact, throughout the field, they're 3 abreast just down the road behind them, if you're wondering how close the rest of the field is. This is fantastic racing in the 3rd heat. As we've got a challenger for the lead, have we here, Andrew? Not quite.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Just as they come through to Inkerman's now and heading towards Ashby.
Tom Kitchener, really good last lap. He's closed that 0.8 of a second gap to, well, much less than that. It was 0.6 over the line. I'd say it's going to be under 1/10 of a second now. I don't know if Marsh made a mistake at the top end of the circuit, but now Gareth Haynes is closing in on these two as well. We've got a proper 3-way scrap for the lead here.
There was a spinner at Ashby there, but now on screen on your Northants Race Control live stream, the top 3, it's Connor Marsh with the distinctive green stripe down the centre of his helmet. Tom Kitchener's looking for a move up the inside into the final corner. Wasn't on that time. And there's contact further back.
Kitchener's going for it. Kitchener's going for the lead and takes the lead. Great move through turn 1. Forced it up the inside. Gareth Haynes is going to follow him through as well. As they go up to Christmas Corner, Tom Kitchener leads here at Whilton Mill.
Yeah. Connor Marsh's line was compromised through turn 2. And it was there for the taking for Haynes. Is anything going to be on into Ashby? No, they all hold station in this particular tour of the circuit.
Meanwhile, the battle for 4th place between Ronan McKenney and James Saunders, second in the championship, rages on. James Saunders trying to do everything, knowing that his championship rival has already taken a heat win so far this evening. Desperately trying to pick up points, trying to look round the outside into the first part of the boot. Is he going to try the switchback and get him on the final corner? No. The number 9 cart with plenty of pace there. The battle at the front, 0.064 of a second over the line between Kitchener and Haynes. As we've got 3 laps of this one to go, is Haynes going to try and get a slipstream into Christmas Corner? Not quite that time.
I'm going to put a really brief apology in for Ronan McKenzie, who on our timing screens has been McKenny all race. Sorry, Ronan, but you've been treating us to some good racing nonetheless. So Ronan McKenzie currently running in 4th. He's had a good race. But Gareth Haynes has also had a good race, and he is not going to let this one go for the next 3 laps. I think Tom Kitchener is going to be under every kind of pressure. Can Haynes get better drive off the corner? He took a slightly later apex, I feel, but I don't think Kitchener's defending well into the boot there. But can Haynes try up the inside? Of course, he'll have the inside line.
Wow,
And
that was a lot of curb.
Oh, and Kitchener's forced out wide. This gives Marsh the opportunity, and Marsh has got it so long as he can keep it on the grey stuff. Indeed he does. There's a contact warning shown.
Curb warning.
Curb warning, sorry.
So it's a curb warning for Gareth Haynes, I'm guessing through the boot there. But he saw the gap and went for it. Kitchener now moving past Marsh again, retakes 2nd place. Great racing here at Whilton Mill. But Gareth Haynes, well, the Oxford Brooks boys from the BUKC, they've already had 1 win tonight. Looking like they're, at the moment, going to make it 2 in a row. But can Tom Kitchener or Conor Marsh spoil the party? Here they are, that battle for 2nd place. Gareth Haynes is going to start the final lap in the lead of this one then. Here he comes, across start finish. Just looking at what the pace is like. We're in the 56s. It's decent pace. Further back, what's going on here? That's looks like the number 30.
This is Kieran Shanks and Stuart Hoyle, I think,
Yeah.
Andrew, contesting 6th place. Actually, no, I believe it was James Willis and Stuart Hoyle contesting 7th. Kieran Shanks is actually slightly further up the road.
James Saunders, if we've not mentioned already, has made his way past Ronan McKenzie and into 4th place. So decent points on the board. Remember, it's the heat results, all accounting for points on the night, which decide which drivers go into the C, B and A finals later this evening. But down the back straight now, here comes Gareth Haynes, who's going to make it 2 wins in a row for guest drivers from Oxford Brookes University. Gareth Haynes comes around the final corner and wins Heat 3 here at Whilton Mill. Tom Kitchener takes a fantastic 2nd place. Conor Marsh 3rd and his top D&M Removals weighted class driver. And look at this, coming through, number 24. That's Andy Summers, an absolutely brilliant move there on the last lap. I think he's going to drop 2 positions. Yes, he is. Fantastic. James Saunders takes 4th, 5th for Ronan McKenzie, 6th for Kieran Shanks, who had a fantastic start. They're still battling as they come over the line. 7th for Andy Summers, 8th Stuart Hoyle, 9th James Willis, 10th for Matt Spencer, 11th Samuel Taylor, 12th Stephen Johnson, 13th Zoe Bachmal, 14th for Rob Doomer, 15th Paul Webster, 16th Callum Brown, 17th Simon Cleaver and 18th for Roger Rosier. Well, all the drivers have had 1 race so far. We're going to take a short break, I think, before we get drivers back in their karts for their 2nd heats of the evening.
Yeah, I think there's just going to be a bit of a discussion following on from that incident in the 2nd heat race, Andrew. Just a bit of a chat about driver standards. We have seen some fairly people getting their elbows out a little bit out there so far this evening, so I think just a bit of a chat with that. If Conor Marsh is thinking it's a case of the one that got away in terms of that win, he will be comforted by the fact that he was by far and away the highest placed driver in the D&M removals weighted class. He was the highest placed driver in that, and it was a competitive field in terms of that class, Andrew, because the likes of Matt Spencer, Andy Summers, we know is a good driver who was making all kinds of challenges for position at the end of the race there. So we know that there were some good D&M removals weighted class drivers in that one, so that's still good for Conor in terms of that.
good to see Kitchener get a second place there. He's
Yeah.
had a bit of another driver who's had a bit of an up and down season so far.
Yes.
It's been very, very good for him when he's been at the front. He's clearly got the pace to be there. He's just not quite had the best of luck at times through the season. Good to see him get a second place. Good start for the evening, and hopefully can replicate that in race 2 and get a slot in that A final. So all the drivers going into the briefing area now for a brief chat. So let's have a little rundown of what's happened so far this evening and the results that we've had come in so far. Very exciting evening of racing so far here at Whilton Mill. First race of the evening was taken by Brandon Williams, so your championship leader getting off to the greatest start possible here for round 5. Won round 4 last time out. Heat 1 winner by 8.1 seconds in the end, in one of the most dominant performances we've seen in a heat race so far this season, I'd say, Howard.
Yes.
Andrew Strikes impressed in that race as well, finishing second, and Chris King was third and also set the fastest lap of the race of 55.831. Aaron Shelton was the highest placed D&M Removals weighted class driver in 6th place overall. Slavik Piskor's second in the class in 8th overall, and Dan Fox third in the class, 14th overall. Heat 2, well, there's a fair bit of drama. We saw the incident between Tim Morangan and Tom Nill. Good to say that Tom is okay after his roll. But Heat 2 was taken by Jamie Desira, who also took the win in the D&M Removals weighted class in Heat 2. He won in the end overall by 0.434 of a second, so a lot closer than Heat 1. And that win was over the number 24 driver of Pedro Baptista, Ben Hamlet, wrapping out the top 3 overall. Fraser Edge finished 8th overall and 2nd in the D&M Removals weighted class, and 3rd and 13th overall was Tim Morangan. Heat 3 was a similar story in that some of our drivers from Oxford Brookes here for I think the second time this season. Another one of their drivers, Gareth Haynes, took the win in Heat 3. You just saw by just over a second in the end, ahead of Tom Kitchener in second. Connor Marsh was third overall and also took the spoils in the D&M Removals weighted class. Second in the D&M Removals weighted class was the number 24 of Andy Summers, with some brilliant overtaking on the last lap. And the class championship leader, Matt Spencer, was 10th overall and 3rd in class. Is it time for me to run away?
It might well be, mate. Yeah, I have to say as well, by the way, if you're in the paddock, I think this is a first. Andrew and I and the Northants Waste Control live stream is being streamed from the back of the Alpha Live production truck. So, Mr. Fitchew, Mr. James Fitchew, is down in the van and out the back of the van. If you're in the paddock and watching it live out on track isn't enough for you, then you can see our live stream pictures. My colleague is preparing himself to go down and give, hopefully, the first grid walk of the evening. Get the driver's thoughts. Aaron Shelton will be the pole sitter for this, the 4th heat. Now 6 heats, remember, tonight. 6 heats and 3 finals. 53 entrants this evening, which I understand is full capacity, so really good to see. Strong turnout here at Whilton Mill. And who can blame them? And I say that not just because of the nice weather, I say that also because of the close racing. I know we've maybe just had to take a little break for the drivers just to be reminded of some of the finer points, shall we say, of driver etiquette out there. But it has undeniably been close. I don't think I've seen hardly anybody running alone on track. They've always had somebody to have a good battle with. Here we go then, the drivers coming around to take the grid, and I believe, I'm crossing my fingers, hopefully we're going to be able to hand down to the grid and Andrew.
Welcome down to the grid for the first time this evening, everybody. Beautiful skies, beautiful weather here at Whilton Mill. We're going to have a chat to some of our drivers. Aaron Shelton on pole position for Heat 4 here at Whilton Mill. Aaron, have a quick word with us. Pole position for Heat 4. How was your first race? What are the hopes in this one?
First race was good. Came from last to fifth. This one looking to defend the lead. Keep it going.
And get it in the A final?
You got it.
Have a good one. Let's have a chat to Lewis, who starts P2. Lewis, really solid start tonight. At times you've not had the best luck so far this season. Is this the night it all goes correct and you get the win?
I'm not expecting much in this race. This cart's just been on its head, and it's been going backwards, so I'm expecting to be doing the same. But we'll try my best, obviously. We'll see how it goes.
We'll have a good one. I hope we see you at the front there. Let's try and grab Barry Johnson in P4. Barry, quickly, in a few words, what is the hope for this second heat for you this evening?
Retaining position, I think, would be a good one, I reckon. I know he's quick, so...
Just try and follow him through.
Sorry?
Just try and follow him through.
Exactly, I think so.
Have a good one. Right, Howard, back up to you in the commentary box. Let's get ready for Heat 4.
And we're away then. Thank you down on the grid. We're away immediately, and it's a good start by Lewis Diamond. Lewis Diamond gets a great start. Our pole sitter gets slightly mugged off of the start there. Aaron Shelton dropping back. It's Lewis Diamond and his bright red Michael Schumacher-esque helmet that leads them up to Christmas Corner. Didn't quite catch who got through to second place there. I'll try and catch them as they come down to Ashby for the first time. Dante Dillon's challenging for third. He's trying to go around the outside there. But it's not on. Oh, is it on? That was nice. He got better drive off the corner, and Dante Dillon's up into third place. So good move there. Lewis Diamond in the second place goes very wide through Chapman, and that's going to give Dante the opportunity to go up into second. Candy from a baby. The opportunity was there, and he took it. And then everybody else in Northamptonshire, it seems, comes through them. It's so close as it is on the first lap, always here. So at the end of that lap, it's Lewis Diamond leading, Dante Dillon second, Carl Spencer is third, Chris King fourth, Barry Johnson fifth, Aaron Shelton, your pole sitter, has gone back to sixth, Slavic Piscors seventh, Andrew Brown eighth, Tim Morangan ninth, and Ben Hamlet rounds out your top 10. Look out for Jamie Desira as well. This is his second heat of the night. He'll be working his way up, and really good to see Tom Nill back out there, it has to be said as well, Andrew, in this race. Fantastic to see after his incident earlier on.
Yeah, and starting from the back in this one is probably kind of quite nice for him.
Yes.
Keep out of trouble, work your way back through the pack.
Yeah, we got
get
a black
bit more
flag.
acclimatised.
Black flags for the number 14
and the 8.
Yeah, so that's Chris King and Barry Johnson.
Well, that's quite big. Chris King, one of our key protagonists in the championship, and that's not good.
Yeah, and Chris
King
King here, he's going to see it
pits.
as he comes round. So I would say, Andrew, this is slight cause and effect. I think following on from that little extra briefing the drivers have had, actually we'll talk about that later. Look at this battle for the lead. 3 abreast going into Chris's corner. Lewis Diamond gets mugged. It's Chris King and Dante Dillon move to the front. Chris King is currently at the head of this field, but Andrew, he's got a black flag. And look at this, Lewis Diamond is having to defend hard here against Carl Spencer as they come through Ashby. Somehow Dante Dillon managed to come out still in second place there, but that was spectacular stuff into Christmas Corner. Someone needs to remind these guys, this is just the heats as Dante Dillon's up the inside of Chris King through Chapman's. Now they can battle side by side, Andrew, but Chris King has a black flag. He's got to pull off to pits, which is to the left, driver's left.
And
I believe I'm correct in calling that. He is the number 8 cart out there.
We'll see the marshal this time. Not sure if there was an acknowledgement of the marshal's instruction to come in the pits that time around.
There was definitely a black flag shown on
Johnson's
the board.
in.
Yep, Johnson's serving it. But there was definitely a number 8 on the black flag board, and it wasn't the angle we were looking at it, Andrew. There's no 18 or 28 for whom we could have missed the first digit, so it was definitely a black flag shown to Chris King. As you say, Barry Johnson's coming to serve his penalty. But anyway, black flag or not, he's got Dante Dillon to worry about at the front, has Chris King.
Well, he can't miss it now because on the digiflag there's black flag and a big number 8 on there now.
Font. I've never seen the digiflag have that big a font. So does he pull in this time? No is the answer. And I find it hard to believe he hasn't seen it. You might even see it on the screen as he comes through. There
now
it is.
There's an acknowledgement.
There it is on screen, folks, on the Northants Waste Control. The large number 8. He acknowledges it. So our race leader is going to be in this lap. And Dante Dillon need not. I wonder if Dante knows. He must. He will have seen the acknowledgement, won't he, from King. So he knows he just has to sit behind. Meanwhile, this is the battle for effectively second place. Once King serves his black flag, this is Lewis Diamond and Carl Spencer. Both pretty experienced drivers. They've got no lack of pace. And look at Jamie Desira as well. He's in the yellow helmet with Italian flag on the side and the Ferrari horse on the back. There he is, on shot now. Or in shot now, I should say. But Lewis Diamond having to defend hard from Carl Spencer. They come into the boot. Andrew, has King pulled into the pits?
No, he is not.
Chris King still hasn't pulled into the pits. And this is... Well, he's only got 3 laps to do it, Andrew. And I think Dante Dillon's suddenly looking more racy because he's thinking, well, if you're not going to serve this black flag, mate, I'm going to take the lead and leave you to consider your conscience.
In a way, doesn't need to. Could actually use this to his advantage. If he does the old sprint trick of 2 cars, there's a change there. Jamie Desira into 3rd. Desira up to 3rd. Diamond now 4th. Carl Spencer down to 5th. But I was just going to say, if Dante Dillon thinks, right, well, if Chris King's not going to get out the way, I'm just going to keep going and the 2 of us can work together.
More black flags, Andrew. This time the 24 and the 13. That's Jamie Desira and Slavik Piskor's, I believe. Slavik currently in a battle with Tim Morangan. You can see him on screen there now. Tim, it's good to see Tim out there as well. He was involved in the incident with Tom Nill earlier on. So good to see both drivers who were involved in that incident back out there. But yeah, black flags for the number 13 and 24. Andrew, they've got to serve these black flags. They're not going to be popular with the race marshals whatsoever if they refuse to come in for a black flag. That's pretty serious. That's up there with the most serious offences.
Dante's going up the inside.
Yeah, he's not waiting for them to serve these penalties. He's going straight for it, up the inside into Ashby. Lovely job. Dante's been driving really well so far this evening, Andrew. He came back from a spin in his earlier heat to finish well. I think he finished around about 11th, which was good considering. This is the penultimate lap, Andrew. They have to pull in this lap or next to serve their black flags.
I'm just watching Chris King here. Does he pit this? No, he does not.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's... you can be as frustrated as you like at a black flag or disagree with the issuing of it as much as you like. If you get a black flag, you got to serve it. And you got to have that debate later once you've done the right thing.
Jamie Desira has also not pitted from the 13, but I do wonder, did he actually... He might have missed it because it's not up there now. And when he came across with it showing on the screen, he actually had his head down because he was shrimping.
Look at this last lap. Chris King, well, he's not done with this battle for the lead. Even if he does have a black flag, he's going to try for the victory here against Dante Dillon.
The thing is, he has seen it because we've seen him acknowledge it.
Yeah,
he wasn't happy about it.
Yeah,
but he has acknowledged it.
I think the other 2 drivers who we saw get a black flag a lap or so ago maybe could argue, hey, I was in a pack of karts and you only showed it once. Possibly. I'm not giving them that excuse, but I'm saying they could. But yes, bit of controversy here, I think. As Dante Dillon, he's driven a brilliant race. He's got no black flags against his name for definite, and he comes across to take the win in Heat 4 in what is becoming a very dramatic evening here at Whilton Mill in the Northampton Karting League. Chris King, provisionally at least, finishes 2nd on the road. Jamie Desira, who also we saw get issued with a black flag, he finishes 3rd on the road. Lewis Diamond 4th, Carl Spencer 5th, 6th is Slavik Piskor's, another driver who we saw get a black flag. Tim Morangan finishes 7th. Ben Hamlet 8th, Aaron Shelton 9th, Andrew Brown 10th, 11th was Andrew Strikes, 12th was Pedro Baptista, 13th was Tom Nill. Good to see him. Yeah, well done, Tom, for getting straight back out there. Peter Horsley, who had a really good heat earlier on, perhaps had a slightly quieter time at the races this time around. He finishes 14th, 15th was Brandon Kane, 16th was Paul Finnegan, and 17th was Barry Johnson, who was the only driver to pull in to serve a black flag, Andrew. That's all I'll say.
Anyway, that was Heat 4. And well done to Dante, because that was a really good drive. Another very mature race there from a young man who impresses me every time I see him race. Seen him in racing several things so far this season. Takes the wins with grace and takes the bad moments with, I wouldn't say, well, he doesn't care, but it's a kind of like, you win some, you lose. The win some, you lose some attitude, which I think is very, very good at this level of karting.
Absolutely. He approaches it, or so far I agree. From what we've seen, he approaches things with the right attitude. You know, he's here to have fun at the end of the day.
I think some drivers are getting talked to at the moment.
I am not at all surprised, to be perfectly honest. It's rather difficult to miss the DigiFlag here.
Good to see Lewis Diamond get 2 good results. I think that's his strongest display in the heats so far this season. And Diamond will be comfortably into the A final. I'm sure of that. Dante Dillon possibly with that win. I mean, what did he get? An 11th earlier on. Carl Spencer, a usual suspect, I think will be in the A final again, if not very high up in the B. So 2 heats to go on what has been a dramatic evening so far here at Whilton Mill.
Yeah, well, we saw there on the Northants Waste Control live stream the drivers who we believe are the offending parties in terms of being issued with a black flag and not serving it, having a discussion with Luke Austin. He is, well, how do we, the brains behind the operations sort of here at the NKL. Obviously not too happy with some of the conduct there. Is it my turn, Andrew?
I think it is. I'm
It
just
is
writing
indeed.
some notes for you. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I'd already checked, but my memory's going in my 20s. No, hang on. Right, I'm going to head down and get the driver's thoughts, Andrew.
Meanwhile, keep your comments coming in on the Facebook stream sponsored by Northants Waste Control. Evening, Greg. Good to see you tuned in again. He's congratulating Dante on a great win there in the last heat. Sure was. Especially considering what was going on around him. The grid for this next one, Heat 5. Again, all of these drivers taking part in their second heat this evening. And depending on how they do in this one, we'll decide whether they'll be in an A, B or C final to finish their evenings. Samuel Taylor from the D&M Removals weighted class will be on pole position for this one. James Willis joining him on the front row. James Saunders and Zoe Bachmal in row 2. Stephen Johnson and Roger Rosier on row 3. Stuart Hoyle and Gareth Haynes row 4. Callum Brown and Richard Welch on row 5. Daniel Burgess and Brandon Williams row 6. Andreas Savitauskas and Chris White on row 7. Dan Fox on Jonathan Moulton on row 8. And Alex Ragazin and Richard Olive on row 9 with 18 carts in the field. Howard's back. Maybe we're not going to talk to some drivers. Drivers starting to make their way round to the front of the grid.
Yes, I think...
is Luke occupied?
I think Luke might be occupied. I think he has made a
That's
sensible executive decision to maybe have a discussion about that last race, and I can't say I blame him. So,
Anywho,
the finals.
we
We're going
can
to aim for the finals. Grid walks in the finals. We're going to say that now.
we can
We're aiming
imagine
for
what
that.
the drivers are talking about. Let's have a
We've
think.
raced
What
at Whilton,
Samuel,
Andrew.
Yes.
Samuel Taylor he's well up the field in terms of the D&M Removals weighted class. James Saunders has got to be a driver who's got his eyes on the prize in this one.
Yep.
Starting grid 3. Currently sat third in the championship as well. I believe. Second, third?
Hang on. Second.
Second in the championship. So he'll be looking to win this one. He did a good job, worked his way up to 4th from quite far back in the first heat. That is me really trying to stretch my memory. So I think he's one to watch. Gareth Haynes is another one in this race. You just see him in shot there in the blue race suit with the white helmet. He impressed earlier on getting heat 3 win. Yep. So
Brandon Williams in this one as well. You can see him there.
oh wow! So we've
in
really
the white
got
suit and the gold with coloured stripes on driver's
Sort
right
of
there.
the white round insignia on the back of the helmet as well. Yeah, we've got some big names in this one, haven't we, Andrew?
Absolutely. So penultimate heat of the evening. Once again, 8 laps to decide this one as it's dry. 8 laps or 8 minutes. So for those of you maybe new to the NKL, last time when we had heavy rain in round 4 and the same circuit layout, we were counted out by the limit of 8 minutes, which I think for some of the drivers was more than enough in those conditions last time out.
Have we done a full run through of the grid, Andrew?
Yes, we have.
Okay, so we're just waiting now for the start of this one.
Last cart forms up the grid. 18 drivers ready to go here in Heat 5 of Round 5 of the NKL for 2017. All eyes on the lights. The run to the finals is... long hold. Very long hold. All eyes on the lights. 8 laps. Heat 5 is go. Very good start from James Saunders from P3. He's looking to force his way through the middle of the front row. Is he going to be able to do it? No, he can't. All drivers up the hill. All 18 still running as they head into Christmas Corner for the first time. Who's going to lead off the first braking zone? All very packed together in the top 10. Are they going to make it through? Yes, just about. I'd say that's the best start we've had so far this evening. Brandon Williams is making his way through. Brandon Williams sweeps into second place. What a bit of opportunistic driving that was, as drivers on his left were all fumbling around. Brandon Williams up to second place. That is why that man leads the championship.
And I have to say, Andrew, we were talking about Gareth Haynes. He hasn't had the dream start. He's fallen back a few places, if anything. You said it was one of the cleanest starts. Bizarrely, I think, ironically, it was actually one of the closest ones as well. I'm glad you called it. It was about 4 abreast going into Christmas Corner there. Almost all the way through the field.
But look at this. Championship implications are on. Second and first are first and second on the road. James Saunders leads. Brandon Williams second. Zoe Bachmal, brilliant first lap from Bachmal up into third. Stephen Johnson's had a good one in fourth, and James Willis wraps out the top 5.
It's not been a great night for the people starting on pole. I'm afraid Samuel Taylor is already down to 9th place, but difficult to capitalise on the situation there. It was all just there was so much jostling. But crucially, I think, compared to some of the racing we've seen this evening, Andrew, fair jostling. Oh, as I say that, there's a spin. 2 spinners off at Ashby. James Saunders still leads now. We're going to see the pace of these two, Andrew, out at the front. This is going to be a brilliant one to follow at the front of the race. But meanwhile, look at all this battling. This is Gareth Haynes and Daniel Burgess et al. In the latter part of the top 10.
Stuart Hoyle in the number 8 cart pulling his way through as well. We know he's got some support at home on the Facebook stream. Black flag, number 6. That is
that's
Roger Rosier.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to make a trip to the pit lane to serve that penalty. Curb warning goes out for the number 10 as well.
Our leaders work their way out of Christmas Corner through the right-hander at Inkermans and down to Ashby. Is Brandon Williams going to try something now? Or is he, Andrew? And we've seen these drives already this year in the NKL. We've seen it from Brandon. We've seen it from Andy Spencer as well. I can remember in particular sensible sprint race driving, i.e. you hold station and you work together. In fact, is that a little gesture from Brandon there to James?
It was.
That they're going to work together here to pull a gap on the rest of the field. So I don't think, he said, try
Yep.
not to set
That's
the
a definite
yeah, that's
gesture
definite.
of
We're going to work
crack
together, isn't
on.
it? Yeah. So I don't think we're going to see him move for the lead for the next few laps, unless, of course, Brandon feels he's being slowed down. In fact, they're bump drafting, are they, up the straight there? Little bit of bump drafting, bit of NASCAR technique there. Good, sensible
shake
driving.
and bake.
Shake and bake. Meanwhile, Gareth Haynes going side by side with, is that Zoe Bahmal?
I think it
Through
might
there, and the number 2 is there as well. That's James Willis. So James Willis has got past both of them in that little exchange. And James Willis goes defensive into Ashby. He's got to be careful ducking back across there. We saw that line a lot in the wet, but in the dry, it's slightly more risky because you're not necessarily expecting drivers to do that. Oh, is that Barmal all over the grass? I think he went wide or was pushed wide maybe through Parker's. Still a black flag being shown for the number 6. Oh no, Roger has now been in. So Roger Rosier has, I believe, been into the pit lane to serve that black flag.
Very
Black flag for
impressive.
the 14. 14 is being shown a black flag. Now that is Zoe Balmal.
And hands up in the air, not happy about it. But
Meanwhile, for the lead, Andrew, I think they've stopped holding station now. There was a little look at the inside through Christmas there for Brandon Williams.
I tell you what's done this. Daniel Burgess is absolutely flying. A 56.244 last time around. He's closed the gap to the top 2 in the championship this year, and I think this has triggered in Brandon Williams' mind the thought do you know what, if I want to win this race, I've got to win it now.
Yep, they haven't got the comfort of pulling out a gap, have they? Because Daniel Burgess, look at him, his head down the back straight. That's known colloquially as shrimping within karting. That's trying to reduce the drag by ducking your head. There is a slight disadvantage that if you do it too severely you can't see, but in theory not a problem in going in a straight line. He is pushing hell for leather to catch up to these two, and the question, Andrew, is Brandon, he's trying up the inside into Christmas.
He's got it.
Brandon Williams alongside.
No,
He hasn't. Really good on the brakes there from James Saunders. Well, you can be bold on the brakes there. You know, you can do a bit of a Gandalf, a you shall not pass. If you're on the outside into Christmas, you've just got to be bold and brake even later, and that's exactly what we just saw from James Saunders. But he's still got Brandon Williams, and if they fight too much, Andrew, in fact, we're seeing it in front of us here, as they fight, Daniel Burgess is closing.
Number 14 has served its black flag.
That's Bahmal. Well done. I shouldn't be in a position where I'm saying well done for serving a black flag, but in light of some of the things we've seen this evening, well done, Zoe.
So, across start finish, curb warning for Burgess.
Yeah, it
Needs
was
to be
Burgess.
careful. But James Saunders leads still
And
from Brandon Williams.
Brandon has a run on him. He's going to run him in there alongside as they head up to Christmas Corner. I think Williams has got it, but we saw James Saunders. No, he's not got it this time. I don't think it was possible, but will he get the cutback? James Saunders is trying the cutback. It's not on there. Look at Burgess. Look at Burgess as they head towards Ashby. Are any of them going to try anything here? No, I don't think so. So, Brandon Williams has taken the lead now, and James Saunders is in the awkward position, in fact, much more so than Williams was, because Burgess is so close. He's in the awkward position of trying to attack and defend. He ducks his head. He takes a look over his right shoulder, but it's the wrong shoulder to look over, because Burgess is up the inside into the boot. We've seen some good overtakes up the second part of the boot. I'd say that's the first really good overtake up the inside. Burgess gesticulates to James Saunders behind him to say, no, let's work together. Well, I think that might be a bit late in the race to be saying that, because it's the final lap. And I don't think
look out for Burgess's straight line speed. He's got a lot of it going up to Christmas.
Yeah, he's got a really good run there off turn 2. Is he going to be able to challenge Williams? They head through Inkermans down into Ashby. Williams goes defensive.
They've got a back marker ahead of them as well, which could come into play here. Not quite sure who it is as they come round into Chapman's.
Williams has the inside through Chapman's. That's good, sensible driving, but Burgess may well get a better drive off the corner. He's going to have to go driver's right into the boot. There's the back marker. That's, I believe, Roger Rose.
He's gonna
round
the outside.
Round the outside for Daniel Burgess. And look at James Saunders as well. Who's going to take this heat win? It looks like it's going to be Burgess. Daniel Burgess, but is the back marker going to balk him? Not quite. Daniel Burgess takes a thrilling heat victory here at Whilton Mill. Brandon Williams second, James Saunders third. 0.4 of a second separating the top three. As we wait to see everyone else finishing, Burgess was first, Williams second, Saunders third, Stephen Johnson was fourth, James Willis fifth, Andreas Zavastauskas was sixth, seventh was Gareth Haynes, not quite not quite the same level of working his way up through the field as we saw in his previous heat. Dan Fox finished 8th and was the highest finisher in the D&M Removals weighted class. 9th was Stuart Hoyle. Samuel Taylor, our pole sitter, finished 10th. 11th was Richard Olive. 12th was Richard Welch. Jonathan Moulton was 13th. Callum Brown 14th. 15th was Alex Ragozin. Chris White 16th. Zoe Bahmal was 17th. Roger Rosier was 18th. And is this anybody who we've missed? Because we've got a kart with no registered driver name. How many runners did we have in that one? 18. So we have covered everyone there. I think that was just maybe one of the Whilton Mill staff testing the kart there. So really good battle. Okay, I'm going to flag this. I think it's important because we've had a bit of a dramatic evening with maybe some questionable driver decisions. I think we should commend that as a really good battle, Andrew. That was really good to see.
We've still got one heat to go, haven't we?
We have indeed. So, yes, if you're watching and you weren't watching from the start and going, hang on, lads, that's it. 5 heats, now we go into the finals. Not so. We have 53 runners and riders this evening. And so we are going to be going for a 6th heat. And this is going to be an interesting heat. I've just cast my eye at the grid. Andy Spencer ahead of Ollie Ellis-Richardson. Now, that's our reigning champion against someone who we didn't know before this evening, Andy and I. But we know him now because he was very impressive earlier on. So, I think it's been a bit of a dramatic one so far, this. But at least last race, I think we had, on the whole, slightly better driving out there. The lead battle seemed firm but fair. Maybe a little bit of bumping Barger further down the field. Black flags were issued, but drivers have served those black flags, and that is, as I say, I don't think I should be in a position where I'm commending drivers for that. I think that that obeying the flags that are shown to you is the bare minimum, to be perfectly honest. Even if you do severely disagree with it, it's one of those things to argue later in the clerk of the course's office. Right, let's talk about this, the 6th heat then. Andy Spencer is coming round to take pole position, and then it's going to be Ollie Ellis-Richardson in second place on the grid. We saw him work his way up through the field. It was a monster drive earlier on in what was a very dramatic heat. I'm just trying to think, was that heat 3 or 4? It was the one that got red flagged. It was I believe it was heat 4. No, it was heat 3. I'm doing all the notes by myself here. Let's give you the grid. Come on, let's get the grid out. So it was Andy Spencer, and Ollie Ellis-Richardson, who had a monster heat earlier on. Nigel Dunkley will be 3rd, Matthew Clark 4th, Owen Burton 5th, Darren Kirk 6th. Jamie Tyler will start 7th, Fraser Edge 8th, and he's the highest placed driver on the grid in the D&M Removals weighted class. 9th will be Robbie Harris, 10th, Tom Kitchener. We saw him have a great drive earlier on. Ronan McKenzie will start 11th, 12th will be Paul Webster, 13th Matt Spencer, Andy Summers will line up 14th, 15th will be Kieran Shanks. He had a really good start earlier on as well. Simon Cleaver will be 16th, 17th will be Rob Dumas, and Connor Marsh will round out the grid in 18th place. So I think we're ready for the off here. And this is the last heat, of course. Last chance for these drivers to stake their claim to whichever final they're aiming for. We look to the lights and we're green. And away we go. It's a decent start from Andy Spencer, but a poor start from Ellis Richardson. And it's allowing Matthew Clark to challenge for second. And I think he's got it. They all get through turns 1 and 2 cleanly. But up to Christmas corner, Andy Spencer is holding the lead. Matthew Clark goes defensive against Ollie Ellis Richardson. And it pays off. So it's still Andy Spencer ahead of Matthew Clark. And then Ellis Richardson having to go very defensive into Ashby. He's got everybody else. Are they all going to get through cleanly? Yes, they are. That's good to see. But Ellis Richardson has been demoted at least one place out of that. He's down to 4th. Couldn't quite make out who made it up to 3rd. Andy Spencer, our reigning champion. Well, he started the last race from the back. But this time, he's trying to take all of the advantage of starting on pole. First pole sitter, I think, of the night that we've seen actually retain the lead by the end of the first lap, unless I'm very mistaken. Either way, he crosses the line. Andy Spencer first, Matthew Clark second, Jamie Tyler is third. He's the person who got past Ollie Ellis Richardson. Ronan McKenzie has also got past. Ellis Richardson is in 5th, therefore, and Tom Kitchener 6th. Owen Burton 7th. 8th was Matt Spencer. 9th is Fraser Edge. And Andy Summers rounds out your top 10. Andrew, I didn't think I'd ever commentate on a race with an R. Dumas in the field. Le Mans reference. So, as they work their way around. Oh, we've got a spinner! Spinner out of Ashby. That was a bit of a dramatic moment. That's the number 3 of
Nigel Dunkley.
Nigel Dunkley. No harm, no foul, but he just got a little bit wide there. They were about 2 or 3 abreast, as is pretty standard here, to be honest, coming out of the corner. And he just got 2 wheels on the grass, and that was enough to make him go round. Andy Spencer, though, is taking his claim, and we've had a change for second place, I believe, on this lap. Apologies for missing that with the drama at the back. Jamie Tyler now up to second. Ronan McKenzie is third. Matthew Clark down 2 positions to 4th. Owen Burton 5th. Slightly more spread amongst as Matthew Clark is being challenged here by Oliver Burton for 4th place. But just further up the road, the top 3 are closing in on each other. And indeed, Ronan McKenzie is up past Jamie Tyler now. So good move there into Ashby by McKenzie. So once again, it looks like the top 3 breakaway group is forming here, as we've seen just a few times this evening. Really, Brandon Williams' win in the first heat is the only really dominant victory we've seen so far this evening. Ronan McKenzie's looking racing here behind Andrew Spencer as they come round. There are 5 laps left on the clock. I don't think McKenzie's thinking of working with Andy Spencer to get a gap here. I think he's just going to go for it. He's right in his slipstream up into Christmas corner. Spencer goes defensive. It's not on there, but will McKenzie get better drive off the corner? I think he does, but he doesn't quite know what to do with it. Is he going to be on up the inside of Ashby? He's going to try it. There we go. Bold on the brakes. Clean, fair move. Really nice drive by McKenzie so far. And is Tyler going to try and capitalise on this as well? No, he can't quite make it stick. Really nice racing here at the head of the field. And it's not really causing the guys further back to close up to them, because there's also a fierce battle going on for 4th place between the likes of Matthew Clark, Oliver Burton, and Tom Kitchener. It's good to see having another strong race as he did earlier on. Further down the field, there's well, actually all of the teens are pretty much line astern. We may as well just call them as they cross the line. Here they are, all coming through the last corner. 3, 4 abreast, what you like really. Really good, close, and so far fair racing as there's a challenge for second place. This is Jamie Tyler now challenging Andy Spencer as they head towards Ashby. I don't think it's going to be on there.
Fair to say, Howard, I thought I saw that black flag being waved again. I'm not quite sure who at.
I haven't seen anything on the DigiFlag, but you may be right. And I think Jamie Tyler's through. Jamie Tyler got better drive off of Ashby and was able to stamp his authority through Parker's and has held on through Chapman. So change for second place, but Andy Spencer is not going to take that without a fight. He's still looking racy. Anything up on the last corner? No. And this is allowing Jordan McKenzie to pull away from them here. The gap's out to 1.7 seconds, which is, in terms of NKL racing, it's a year. That might be a slight exaggeration, but either way, really good drive so far from Ronan McKenzie. You're watching Tyler and Spencer. Further back, the field's generally spread out a bit, although the latter parts of the top 10 are still being battled over quite nicely. I think if we stay with this shot, we're going to see it come through. Here they are, lying astern, coming into Ashby. Who's this? This is the likes of, this is the 9th place battle between the likes of Andy Summers, Rob Dumas, Fraser Edge. 9th and 10th are slightly further up the road. It's 11th place. Fraser Edge, Simon Cleaver, Darren Kirk. They're having a really good battle out there at the moment. As our leader comes to cross another line, there's a curb warning being shown, I believe, to Jamie Tyler out there. He's just been able to pull out a slight gap on Andy Spencer. Ronan McKenzie is just coming through Inkermans now towards Ashby. Here he is on your Northants Waste Control live stream, beginning to look like he's having a dominant win here. What's happened to Ollie Ellis-Richardson in this race is what I want to know, because that driver you can see in the blue suit further up the road, that is Ollie Ellis-Richardson, who's a lap down. So did you see a black flag, Andrew? You may well have done, because the gap that Ollie Ellis-Richardson has on the rest of the field suggests that he's been into the pits. Yep. He lets the leader through, so good, sensible driving there from Ellis-Richardson. So the gap, I think, is going to be even greater this lap to the leader. We're on the last lap as well. So Ronan McKenzie, who's had a brilliant drive in this one, goes on to the last lap. Andy Spencer has, I think, a comfortable enough gap. Jamie Tyler has a comfortable enough gap over Andy Spencer, as we've got a black flag being shown for the number 19. I believe that's Kieran Shanks.
It is indeed, down in 15th place at the moment.
That's going to be critical, and this is important. These are championship points, and this determines what final you're in. And I think, Andrew, we're going to have quite a few drivers who feel out of position in these finals. And don't forget that those that win the finals repechage onto the back of the grid of the next final up. So if you win the C final, you go to the B final, and so on and so forth. So that's going to be interesting to see. But here, we're watching Ronan McKenzie take the final corner to take the flag in this, the last heat of the evening. It's been a dramatic series of heats, but Ronan McKenzie has finished them off in the way he would dream of to take the victory. Well, he probably dreams of the A final victory. And look at this. Look at this for the battle for, who's this? This is the battle for 11th place still. So, as they cross the line, let's confirm that result. Ronan McKenzie first. Jamie Tyler was second. Andy Spencer third. Owen Burton came home fourth. Fifth was Tom Kitchener. Sixth, Matthew Clark. Matt Spencer was seventh. Eighth was Connor Marsh. Ninth was Rob Dumas. 10th was Andy Summers. Robbie Harris and Simon Cleaver, I believe, were the two who we saw battling over 11th place. It was Robbie Harris who came out on top there. Robbie Harris 11th. Simon Cleaver 12th. 13th was Fraser Edge. Darren Kirk was 14th, 15th was Paul Webster, 16th was Nigel Dunkley, Kieran Shanks was 17th, and Ollie Ellis-Richardson was 18th. I believe those latter two drivers will have pulled into the pit to serve a black flag. That is the end of some of the most dramatic heat races we've had this year, I think, Andrew. Not all for the right reasons, I say as diplomatically as one can. But eventful evening so far.
Yes, I'd agree with that one. Pretty sure, I think we know which drivers are going to be in the A, B and C finals. Wait for confirmation from Luke and the guys as to how the split's going to be this evening. Brandon Williams has come out on top this evening in terms of qualification with 47 points. Ronan McKenzie on 43, Gareth Haynes 41. Jamie Tyler, Tom Kitchener and Lewis Diamond. Good to see those three drivers in the A final. They've not always had the best luck so far this season, and they'll all have good grid slots for the A final. I think we're looking around the kind of Connor Marsh, Aaron Shelton range for those on the bubble for the A final, and then if I look around again for Ollie Ellis Richardson won't have made the A final. I can see him down in 33rd overall. Slavik Piskors is not going to make the A final either. So yeah, there's going to be some, as you say, Howard, some drivers out of position here. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how the rest of the evening develops with the 3 more races. We go up in time as well, so, well, laps I should say, this evening as it's dry. 10 laps this evening now for the rest of the action.
Absolutely. So, thank you for joining. I'm going to just wave out the window. Can I wave? There we go. There's us in comms box, if you can see us at the top of the hut there. I just thought I'd get a wave in on the Northants Waste Control live stream. And there you can also see James Fitchew. The man, yeah, there we go.
Hello.
In the comms box. Hello. That's the airtime we're getting.
We've got a
tonight.
driver.
We have.
Do you want to talk to him?
Yes.
Go on
yeah,
then.
go on then. Tim. Thank you for joining us.
No
Good to
worries.
meet you as well.
Well, normally when we speak to each other, when I'm sort of in the C final, somewhere towards the front, so this is a refreshing change.
Yes, I have to say as well, the challenge of it's a challenge when everyone's wearing a helmet as well.
No worries.
So yeah, it's been an eventful evening. I think it's fair to say.
Yes, that's one way to describe it. Driving standards have been a little bit erratic. Some drivers pushing each other wide when really they shouldn't have had. Some very aggressive defensive moves out on the track as well. And of course, I'm sure you saw I got involved in an incident in my second heat as well with a poor lad who got flipped over. So if you're listening, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name. I'm very, very sorry, and I hope you will.
Yeah, we believe it was Tom Nill.
Okay.
Who was involved in that?
Well, Tom, I'm sorry.
But,
my friend.
yeah. No, really good to hear that, and of course, as we noted at the time, no malice in that. It's
No, absolutely. I mean,
it's just one of those.
It was one of those things where, obviously we have different versions of events, but I mean, I'd spun because I was trying to outbrake the guys in front, and then I outbrake myself as well. Span. At that point, you've got to try and get back on the track, but be aware that you've got other carts coming. They're approaching under yellow, so I thought they'd slow down. I pulled back onto the track. I assumed he'd saw me. He hadn't seen me, and it all went downhill from there. So I'm just glad that, well, A, he's okay, and B, that neither of the carts got trashed. Otherwise, I'd have been feeling really guilty.
Yeah. No, that's fair play. Now, how long have you been doing NKL?
I think this is my 4th season of NKL.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I moved to Derby in 2013. I'd done a bit of indoor karting, and I was looking for a series to kind of join to come along. I found the NKL, and so my first race was on a wet March evening. It was my first time racing outdoor karts, and I remember distinctly approaching the first right-hand bend, turning the cart, and the cart went straight on, and I swore I was going to die. So I survived the first round, and then I've come back, and I've made pretty much every round since. I got married this time last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Our wedding anniversary is on July the 9th, so Sunday. So, Rebecca, if you're listening, thank you very much. And I managed to make the round just before my wedding as well, so I'm very, very grateful to her for that.
Good stuff. And briefly, because it looks like we're getting...
Yeah, I think
we've
we've
offered interviews, and I don't know about more interesting.
I think I think Connor will probably offer you more insight than I will.
How's your season going?
Not great. I started off well. I had an A final, which I was really pleased with, and then I had a B final where I didn't really have a great kart.
Mm-hmm.
Then the last couple of races have been C finals, and I finished second in both C finals. I was in the lead in both, and then just kind of didn't quite have it. Although I will say that I've got this one section from the C final in round 3 where I threw I think it was an overtake just on that left-hand kink there.
Yeah.
And I think you guys got quite excited about it, so I've got that little clip saved somewhere. Every time I need to pick me up, I can just listen to Tim Morangan's name being shouted down the airwaves. It's quite good.
I've got some footage of my commentating colleague doing exactly the same thing for me a couple of years ago. I don't know. Yeah. Tim, thanks for coming to talk to us.
Yep.
We're going to move on. Andrew, are you taking this next one? Are we
Go
tag
on
team
then.
interviewing?
Yeah, we'll tag team.
Who are we getting in?
I think we'll get Connor in.
Right.
So Connor Marsh, second in the D&M Removals weighted class going into this evening. We'll have a quick chat with him, see how he's found this evening so far. Connor, welcome back to the commentary box. I think the last time we spoke to you in here was after the Daytona win.
That's right.
How's this evening gone so far?
It's interesting, to say the least, for sure. I've had some decent races so far. I started on pole and coming on third. The two guys in front of me that managed to get in front of me almost give it back to me, but they just had the power to carry on and get away again. I'm okay with third. That's fine. I'm going for a heavyweight overall at the end of the day, and then the overall's a bonus really. Wherever I'm coming at is where I come, but the target is the heavyweight for sure, and I've got some catching up to do with Matt.
Yeah, I was going to say, so we've been talking so far about how kind of, at the moment, I'd say that's the most intriguing battle, yourself versus Matt for the weighted class. How do you see that developing through the season?
I think it will be close for the whole thing. He's a very good driver. He's always normally on the pace, so almost catching up to him in that last race there. I really wanted to just jump in front of him, but not quite enough laps in. But I'm sure we'd have had a good battle.
And still, of course, finals to go for the rest of this evening. So yes, he may have got the heat win, but maybe get him back in the final.
Hopefully, yeah. That'd be a good plan, yeah. See if I can do that.
Good stuff. Well, I'm conscious of time. I'm just seeing if there's any questions on the stream. And is there any carts in particular that you're looking out for tonight? Is there any ones that you want in particular?
I think the obvious two to be looking out for is 10 and 13. Them two carts just blitzed past me in my first race. I just sat there just like, yeah, I kind of expected that. So that'd be nice.
Yeah. So I think we'll say best of luck for the rest of this evening, because I say we're loving this battle at the moment between yourself and Matt. Good luck for the rest of the evening. Hope you keep it up.
Thanks very much.
Right, we're gonna have, as I say, we've got a queue of drivers outside to have a chat with us. We're gonna get Dante in, I think. We're going to get Dante in?
Yes.
And yeah, let's swap again. Let's keep this tag team thing going, 'cause I'm quite enjoying this. We're going to get Dante in, who won a heat earlier on this evening. I'll pass my headset over to him.
Absolutely. Heat winner this evening. And other evenings. Or was that wasn't your first by any stretch, was it?
No.
Sorry, that's an awkward question. Big yourself up in front of everyone. No, yeah, really good driving so far this evening. How long have you been doing this? How long have you been doing the NKL?
I did my first round in NKL last year. I did round 6, I think, last year. It was completely wet, and it was on the international. I didn't really have many expectations, and I came like midway through the A final. And ever since then, I've been progressing quite a bit, getting first few heat wins probably at the beginning of this year. So yeah, it's my performance has definitely been improving every single round. I'm getting a lot happier with how I'm driving. Obviously, here and there you get quite unlucky, but you also have some other good moments, which just make you feel a bit better. To be honest, that I mean, like getting a heat win today. Like I got unlucky in the first heat. I think just unfortunately got spun round, but tried to bring it back, and then had the second heat, had some great battles, and won that heat. So I think it's quite common with me that every single round I always have like one good result, one bad result. I think I haven't really had two good results together, so I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah.
But so far it's going good.
It seemed a decent drive to us though in the box though, albeit with the spin you managed to get yourself back to 11th place in your first heat, and then of course with the win. So is that I haven't done the maths. Andrew has. I don't know if that puts you B final, A final. It's got to put you A final, I'd have thought. Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
So A final, straight into that. As you say, your season, you've been getting better, and we've noticed that. What's your karting history coming into this then? Is this one of many things you've tried in karting? First proper championship you've gone for? What's the history?
So basically, I started in 2009. For probably about 4 or 5 years, all I did was Sandown Park in-kart championship. Didn't go to any other tracks, and it didn't take me until 2015 when I actually started to do other tracks with Kart Sport that I actually started to improve a lot more. To try and get better at other tracks. That really helped me. And then basically 2016 was just more of the same. Doing bits of Kart, bits of starting NKL as well for the first time, and then this year doing NKL all year and doing DMAX all year. So just progressively stepping up bit by bit, I think that's definitely helped me up, and definitely doing other tracks helps as well.
Yeah, and it's been a bit of a controversial evening in some respects, but on the whole, how do you find this championship? How would you describe it and the standard that you get here?
Overall, with this championship, I think it's fair to say the pace of all these drivers is really, really fast. I mean, no, I know sometimes some nights it can be a bit, bit rough, but the pace of everyone is amazing, and that's why I love this championship, because you get so many fast guys. Just looking at this A final now, there is a lot of fast drivers in that, and it's never an easy race. You're never going to have an easy race, so that's what I love about it most. And yeah, the standards are really high, and I rate this championship a lot. That's why I do it.
Yeah. Well, it always seems to us that you're having a good time. You've often got a big smile in the paddock, so that's always good to see. I'm just trying to. Are we getting another one in, or got another one? We're going to get another one in the. This is brilliant, Andrew. We're going for a record here. Dante, thank you for joining us in the box.
Thank you very much.
All the best in your A final.
Right.
It's your term, isn't it?
Yeah, it is my
turn. It's your turn.
We'll get Brandon in here. We've got our championship leader.
Have a headset, Mr. Williams.
Brandon, welcome to the Crow's Nest.
Hello.
It's been a pretty good evening so far.
Yeah, it's
for yourself.
Not too bad. I've had a couple of good starts. I think I've been mid-grid in both races. Just got a good start. First by the first lap on the first one, and then second on the first lap in the second race. And just kept my head down and got a gap with James in the second one, and just pulled out a gap in the first one on my own. But yeah, just came home first and second so far. Not been too bad.
So talk us through that second race, because for maybe some of our uninitiated viewers back home, we saw you sat behind James, your championship rival. Explain to us the philosophy in a sprint race of not immediately going for that move for the lead.
I think it's because mainly I didn't want to start trying to battle with him and then let the people behind catch up, because I knew if I finished second, no one else had like a first and a second so far today, so I'd be starting pole for the final. So I was happy to settle for second just for that race. But then I seen Dan start catching behind, so then I knew how to get by him straight away. Obviously, it was a bit too late because we caught a back marker at the end and it kind of mixed up a bit. And yeah, he managed to get by me. I came second anyway, but yeah, I still got by James, so I got some points on him as well, which is all right. But I was happy to settle for second for that one.
Good stuff. So pole for the A final tonight. I mean, we've seen you got. I'm pretty sure that is pole for the A final tonight. I think it's been 2 A final wins so far this year, if I'm not mistaken, or is it 3?
I think so. Maybe 2.
Maybe 2. I mean, I remember talking to you at the grid last time out in the wet, and well, you said to me that you weren't looking forward because you didn't think the kart was quick, and then you came through to take that A final win. Just talk us through what those conditions were like last time out. What are the different skills that you think you need for those wet conditions that we saw in round 4?
It's just basically knowing where the grip is, like being confident on the brakes, not locking up the brakes, and you just slide straight off the track. And just make sure you don't push too much that you make mistakes and spin out. And like a lot of people were doing, but I didn't spin out once the whole day because I was just making sure I weren't pushing too hard anywhere, and just consistently getting the lap times to keep up. And a lot of it on the first lap, people are like jostling positions and stuff and being a bit cautious. But I'm just trying to pick out the spaces where I can overtake and not get caught up in anything. So it's getting as many places at the start because people are a bit cautious, and then just make my way up from there. Keep on trying to bang in good lap times.
And which do you prefer, racing in the wet or racing in the dry like tonight?
See, I love the racing in the wet, but obviously the weather doesn't make it that nice after. It's a bit cold and rainy and stuff, but I prefer the wet for the race. It's good fun.
So hopes tonight. I mean, we're kind of at the halfway point of the season. You're in this battle with James, first and second in the championship. You've also got Andy, who's now sat a round out, but of the races that he's done so far, he's still scoring well. How do you see the rest of this season progressing out as we go through the summer and then into the autumn?
I think I've just got to try and consistently keep either being right on the back of James or obviously beating him, and the same with Andy as well, because when he gets to drop round at the end of the year, he's going to count all the scores that he's going to do, but he'll be back up there towards the end when the drop rounds come in. But yeah, just got to keep on trying to consistently get good points, good finishes, and see what I can do.
Well, we both wish you the best of luck here in the commentary box. Keep entertaining us.
I'll do my best.
Keep doing the bits of drama that you've done so far this season, and good luck for the rest of tonight.
Thank you.
That's Brandon Williams, our championship leader. and our event leader so far here tonight at Whilton Mill, round 5 of the Northampton Karting League.
Yeah, great to have the driver's thoughts. I just want to cover a few things that have been coming in on Facebook. I just flagged up a message from Greg Smith on Facebook commending Tim Morangan for being very straight with us here up in the box and apologising for what happened in the heat, the incident involving himself and Tom Nill. I agree. I think it takes... I mean, it's one thing to feel, a bit of, remorse and then apologise. It's another thing to come up to the comms box and announce it to the world. I mean, on our humble little broadcast, but it still gets a bit more following than just saying it just to anybody in the paddock. So fair play to him for coming up here and talking to us and talking very sensibly about it. I think I'm also going to flag this one up, Andrew.
Evening, Willie.
Evening, Willie. He thinks it looks amazing. Well, they haven't turned on the camera in the comms box yet, Will, so they haven't had to show us. Yes, Will, part of the new Alpha Live effort, is it fair to say? Willie Chu of Alpha Timing and 3T Racing. I was about to say the BUKC is his brainchild, but loads of things have been his brainchild in karting over the last few years. And it's exciting. I think this new venture he and Luke Austin have decided to go down with Alpha Live. And we'll see how it goes. Already we've been blessed with a nomination in the Streaming Awards.
Yep.
I need a T-shirt that says that, Streaming Award nominee or something. I suppose it's a bit harsh. It's not really my... Well, I was just the commentator going, he's followed it up. He's followed it up with this.
Why, thank you.
We're not, we're not bribing him for this. This is. We shouldn't have
From
mentioned.
the heart.
We shouldn't have mentioned we knew him. We should have just pretended it was a random member of the public who just thought really highly of us. Nice message as well from Rebecca Morangan, because Tim was talking about the wedding anniversary. So congratulations to both of you.
Clearly the impact wasn't that big then. It didn't
it didn't
fire
affect,
the date out of his head.
No, the date stayed put.
Good.
But no, really good. Really good to have the driver's thoughts in between the heats and the finals.
Got to mention we have got one piece of not so good
Yes,
news.
we do have to
3
mention
drivers
that.
have been sent home.
Yes, they have.
That's what happens when you don't serve a black flag.
Yes.
So it's the correct decision. I don't like these moments. The guys who run these events don't like these moments.
No.
But the rules are the rules. You can't just keep going. Whether you agree with the decision or not. And we've been in this situation not that long ago, stood in this commentary box, where whether you agree with the decision or not, if you get a black flag,
You've got
just
to
come in
serve
and
it,
serve
yes.
it.
And you yourself, actually, Andrew, not just us two, you've done commentary for slightly longer. I can remember a day when I was racing and you were up here commentating that was particularly controversial. I'm thinking back a few years of BUKC racing there. There was quite a controversial final here a few years ago. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where even if you massively, massively disagree with being issued a black flag,
You've got to come in and serve it.
I've been issued a black flag. I've been okay on the whole. I tend to not. I think I've only had 2 black flags before. One of them was for overtaking under yellows in thick fog. Clay Pigeon in Dorset, and I honestly couldn't see. It's a wonder I saw the black flag, if I'm perfectly honest, because that race was red flagged a couple of laps later due to thick fog. But it's just one of those things, you pull in. They said you overtook under yellows. If I'm perfectly honest, I hadn't really
didn't see the yellow and I didn't see the
cart. I didn't see the yellow, probably. But they've got to abide by the rules. If they're running the race and up until a couple of laps later they felt it was safe to run the race, that's just that's part of it. Unfortunately, that they have to call it as they sees it, and if they sees it differently, sorry, I shouldn't use that. If they see it differently to how you've seen it, then you've just got to accept that in the instance. And quite often, the balance gets readdressed at some point later on in your racing career. So we are preparing for the C final here at Whilton Mill.
And we've got 17 drivers in this one, so hopefully my maths isn't going to let me down. I'm going to try and work out who we have in this one? 1 second, folks.
Whilst you're doing that, Andrew, I'm just going to say another point of order is that unfortunately we're not going to be able to bring you grid walks for the rest of the evening. Apologies for that, folks. We'll try and fill it in with other informative and interesting comments. But yeah, hopefully next round we'll be able to return to the grid walks because we do love bringing them to you, but not this evening. Andrew.
17 drivers in this one. This is where I reckon we're going from. Kieran Shanks on pole position, Darren Kirk second, Richard Welsh third, Paul Finnegan fourth, Brendan Kane fifth, Robbie Harris, Tom Nils, Simon Cleaver, Barry Johnson, Callum Brown, Zoe Bachmal, Paul Webster, Alex Ragazin, Nigel Dunkley, Chris White and Roger Rosier in this one, and I'm very aware that that is 16 because in the bottom 17 was one of our drivers that's been sent home, so I actually think on pole. Shove all of those guys down one spot, and I think it's Rob Duma on pole position for this one. I'll probably be wrong, but
Can we do more R Duma?
R Duma. Well, he does get around now since he's stepped away from top line Porsche LMP1 racing.
He has,
and,
yes.
You know, we've seen him in LMP2s. We've seen him in GTEs.
Are we being too obscure here? I'm not sure if
Roman, I don't think we are. Roman
he's a
Duma.
world endurance champion.
Exactly. And now he's here in the NKL.
Obviously.
Possibly.
I'm going to second this comment from the production truck. Mr. James Fitcher is down in the truck doing all of the brilliant production work this evening. He says thank you for the comments. I second that. Keep them coming. Interact with us underneath the stream, Facebook stream, on the NKL page.
I am wrong. It's Jonathan Moulton on pole.
Right. Scrap all the Le Mans references. It's
Jonathan Moulton there in the teal green
Yep.
on pole position. Then it's Rob Duma. Kieran Shanks, I think, is going to be lining up here in third. We saw a very impressive start from him earlier from row 2 in his heat, so, excuse me, watch out for him. Then it's going to be Darren Kirk, unless my information is incorrect. Richard Welch, Paul Finnegan, Brendan Kane, Robbie Harris, Tom Nill. Good to see Tom back out on circuit after his roll earlier. Don't worry, folks, he's fine. He would not be out on circuit if he was not fine. Safety the first priority here. So 17 karts in this C final. Remember, the winner progresses onto the back of the B final grid, which I suspect is going to have some interesting names in it. It's going to be a hotly contested one, but this C final. Now, this is what I love about Arrive and Drive. It's the time at which you get to the evening where you've always got somebody to race.
Yes.
And many events that I've been to, C finals are often the best race of the whole evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, these drivers... we're eyes on the light, so let's pay attention to this. This is the action, and we're away for 10 laps in the C final. It's a poor getaway from pole. It looks like second place may have got up into the lead there.
And I think Kieran Shanks has got another good start from row 2 again.
Yeah, but it's Rob Duma who leads them up the hill towards Christmas for the first time. Is that Shanks in second place, Andrew?
Possibly is. We'll have to check
We'll
as
see
they come down the hill.
Pole sitters back up to third, having dropped down to around about 4th or 5th at turn 2. So it's not been a terrible start there for Jonathan Moulton, who was our pole sitter, as they work their way. This is the international part of the lap. When we do the national loop, this is the bit that we don't race on, if you like. And change for the lead, in fact. We've had a change for the lead down into Chapman's. And we're going to have to double check who that is.
I think it's Kieran Shanks.
I think that's Kieran Shanks as well. I think I saw the number 3 there on the cart. So as they come around to finish this lap, we'll confirm. But we believe it's Kieran Shanks. Look at them. That's Tom Nill going side by side into the last corner. He's lost none of his confidence this evening. Kieran Shanks leads. Rob Duma is second. Simon Cleaver third. Jonathan Moulton fourth.
Black flag number 17, Zoe Bachmal. Unfortunately for Zoe, that's the end of his evening.
Yeah, and that's the second one of the evening. And just to be clear, we understand in the break we had earlier on where there was a discussion on driver standards It was put very simply to the drivers. Contact equals a black flag here.
So enough warnings. Whoa, big massive moment for a driver who's run wide and has tried to keep the power on through Ashby, and it's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
That's number 27, that's Nigel Dunkley. Some good tyre smoke though into the corner.
Tom Nill's having a good drive, Andrew. He's up to 4th place. There's a side-by-side for 2nd place, though. That is Rob Dumas. I think Simon Cleaver's got by. So, as they come round to finish this lap, don't say we didn't warn you, folks. The C final can be as hotly contested, if not more hotly contested, than the B and the A. Kieran Shanks leads still ahead of Simon Cleaver. It was who got past Rob Dumas into the boot. Tom Nill, he's having a really good drive. It's good to see after the eventful evening he's had. Jonathan Moulton 5th. 6th is Richard Welch. Barry Johnson 7th. Live timing's just gone down in the box.
Apologies, that's my fault.
That's okay, mate. We've got the timing here on the live stream as well. Darren Kirk is 8th. And actually, you know what? It's probably already out of date, that running order.
There you go.
In fact, it is, because Tom Nill has got past Rob Dumas. There they are on screen on the Northants Waste Control live stream. Thank you for joining us if you are. Fastest lap of the race currently with Kieran Shanks, our race leader, of 57.190, as he comes around to complete another tour of the circuit. 7 laps remain. Remember, we've gone from 8 laps up to 10 laps, or 8 minutes up to 10 minutes. If it were wet, we'd be running to time rather than laps, but here we run to laps. Just whilst it's quiet, actually, we've got John Moulton looking racy here on the back of... Now that's not Rob Dumas. Who's Jonathan behind now? Is it Barry Johnson's got ahead of him? I think it might be. I think Barry might be wearing a Whilton suit, which is... There's a few of them out there here. But I have to say, Kieran Shanks is pulling out a really strong lead here, coming through the boot. Quite a few battles going on further down the order. Look at this. This is the likes of Brandon Kane, Paul Webster, Callum Brown, that sort of region in the pack. They're having a good old battle. The gap for 2nd place is closed up though as they head up the hill on this lap. Simon Cleaver is just ahead of Tom Nill. Now, Tom Nill is the driver who was involved in the roll incident earlier on, but he is coming back here with a commendable drive, currently challenging for 2nd place, and behind them, slightly further up the road, is Rob Dumas and Barry Johnson contesting over 4th place. So 2 really good battles happening in the top 5 here. It's allowing our leader, Kieran Shanks, to pull away. I think this is Kieran Shanks' first round in the NKL. It's certainly the first one of 2017. So he's having a really good drive. He's going to be one to watch in the future. We definitely hope we see him again. And as I say that, albeit he does get a curb warning, but he acknowledges it calmly and carries on his way. That's the sensible thing. You just take those warnings in and you adjust your driving accordingly. That's the sensible thing to do. Meanwhile, the battle for seconds, they head up the hill. Simon Cleaver under severe pressure from Tom Nill still, with 5 laps to go. And also, and still further down, it's going quite... But here we go, Tom Nill, is he looking up the inside here? No, it's not on through Ashby. So Simon Cleaver holds on to it. Simon Cleaver currently the highest placed driver in the D&M Removals weighted class. So as I like to say, and I say this out of personal experience, he has a gravitationally challenged position. Tom Nill tries up the inside of Chapman's, but it doesn't quite happen. Better drive off the corner for Cleaver. And this battling is allowing the battle for 4th has broken up a bit. Barry Johnson has got ahead of Rob Dumas. So now you can see it's becoming a 3-kart battle almost for 2nd place. If they battle much more, it'll become a 4-kart battle, and so on and so forth. And so is the way all the time with go-kart sprint racing, and that is why we love it. However, this is probably the most dominant win we've seen of the night since Brandon Williams in the first heat, and Tom Nill's on the inside. And they're 3 abreast coming out of Christmas Corner. Who's going to get 2nd place? Simon Cleaver holds on to it. Tom Nill looks a little bit frustrated there. I didn't see anything too untoward, though, as they come into Ashby. Tom Nill's got to be careful. Barry Johnson is there, and he's going to look. He has a quick look up the inside of Parker's, but it takes a ballsy move to make that pay off. Anything on in Chapman's? No. Although Barry Johnson takes a slightly wider line in to get better drive off the corner. Tom Nill goes defensive. There's just 4 laps left as our leader, actually I say that, leader comes across the line. There's now 3 laps left. There's a curb warning being issued to one of the 3 drivers in this second place battle.
Johnson.
Okay, so Barry Johnson getting a bit of a warning there. This battle not allowing Rob Duma to catch up to them, but he's holding station. He's doing a good job in 5th. And look at this, Tom Nill tries again into Christmas Corner. Again they go 3 abreast out of Christmas Corner, and again Simon Cleaver just manages to hold on to it. There's plenty of challenges for position.
Tom Nill's just got to throw it.
He's trying to throw up the inside of Ashby, but one can understand why he may be slightly cautious there. But look at this. Barry Johnson's got alongside and he's up the inside into Parker's. And I think Tom Nill knew that was happening and sensibly got out of the way. He's trying up the inside into Chapman's to get it back. And they're side by side there. But I think Tom Nill should get that. He's got the inside line for the next corner. There's a little bit of rubbing, Andrew, but on the whole, I'm getting the impression this is a decent fight we're seeing here. And look at Rob Duma. He's catching up to the back of them with 2 laps to go here. It's not over for second place. I think we know who's going to get promoted up to the B final, because Kieran Shanks just needs to stroke it home, and he will be in the pound seats. But who is going to get second place here? Simon Cleaver again leads them out of Christmas Corner. Tom Nill has Barry Johnson all over the back of him. He goes defensive, does Nill, into Ashby. Rob Duma ready to pounce if the opportunity arises. Is anything on into Chapman's? It would be from a long way back. It's not. Barry Johnson taking a different, I think he just naturally takes a slightly different line there to try and get a slightly better drive onto the back straight. Simon Cleaver doing very well, as we say. He is one of the D&M Removals weighted class drivers. So he's showing a good turn of pace here, is Simon. And we're on to the last lap. The lead gap is a comfortable 4.5 seconds for Kieran Shanks. He simply needs to get it round. There's no traffic either. I have to say, no one's really fallen off the back of this race. So it's not going to have a lot of traffic. So our leader now goes through Ashby Corner. And then here, further back behind him, is the battle for second place. He has a quick look over his shoulder, does Shanks, but there's not really anyone there to see, such as the domination he's shown up front. Commendable drive, and this is what we talk about. Even back here, I say even back here in the C final is skilled driving. The pace of the field is such that you get brilliant battling. Even here, as the battle for second place is still going on, we'll have to wait until they cross the line. But it's going to be Kieran Shanks who takes the final corner and wins the C final here. He gains promotion to the B final. It's Simon Cleaver who holds on for second, and Tom Nill just about holds on for third ahead of Barry Johnson. Rob Duma has crossed the line in 5th. It looks like it's going to be Jonathan Moulton who crosses the line in 6th. 7th will be Richard Welch, Darren Kirk 8th, Paul Finnegan, Robbie Harris and Callum Brown are the next 3 to take you through to 11th place. 12th place is Brendan Kane. Paul Webster is 13th, 14th Alex Ragozin, 15th will be Zoa Bahmal, Chris White will be 16th, 17th Roger Rosier, 18th Nigel Dunkley. Really good racing. And I don't like to use the phrase even for the C final. What I mean when I say that is people might not expect it from a C final if they're unfamiliar with this form of racing, but it just goes to show racing throughout the field. Well done to Kieran Shanks, but really tasty battle over second place as well, Andrew.
He's good at them starts, is Mr. Shanks.
Isn't he just? Isn't he just? He's got he's got
That's
very
2
impressive
tonight.
reaction times. So fair play to him. Yes, indeed, because he moved to the front in his heat, first heat, didn't he? So in what we think is his first NKL round, certainly his first one this season we're aware of, because he doesn't show up on our little matrix of wonder of drivers who have competed this season. Shanks is having a really, really good evening tonight here at the 5th round of the NKL. Greg Smith on Facebook says, great race by Simon. I agree. Simon Cleaver dealt with so much pressure there. The number of times I thought he was going to lose that position coming out of Christmas, and he just managed to hold on to it and stamp his authority through the left-hand kink. So I agree. I'm impressed by that drive.
I just want to give a couple of shout-outs because I've seen quite a few messages tonight from people who I think are first-timers or haven't entered before, asking how to get involved. I see Paul White saying, wouldn't mind giving this a go sometime. Absolutely. What you need to do is head over to, I think it's, it's there. It's on the screen. www.nkleague.co.uk. All the details are on there for how to sign up to rounds 6, 7 and 8. Rest yet to go this season. There's also a Northampton Karting League Facebook group as well as the page. Most of the drivers are on the group. I think if you just search for it on Facebook, request to join it. I think Luke probably has the ownership of it. And yeah, get all the information on there. Get signed up. I think it's very easy to do. I think I've got to ring the Whilton Mill office, but all the details are on the website, and it's open to all. And Paul, and I can't quite remember the name of the chap who was asking similar earlier, but it'd be great to see you down here at Whilton Mill for future rounds.
Absolutely agreed. I'll be honest, I'm watching it sometimes thinking,
I want to go.
do I have to be in the comms box? No, that's I do. I really enjoy watching it from up here actually as well, because it is really entertaining racing to watch. But yes, definitely get involved, get online, get involved, come along and have a really good time racing. And as you've seen, there is somebody for everybody to race. So we are going to go into the B final next, and once again we've got some interesting people in the we've got sorry, I'm just hearing some viewing stats in my ear from the box downstairs. Thank you very much to everybody who's joining us on the stream. It's really great to have you all along. Particularly welcome if this is your first time watching the Northants Waste Control live stream of the Northampton Karting League. We really do love bringing you coverage of this one. Let's talk about this B final as it was then. There's some really interesting names in this one. As we've said, it's been a dramatic evening. Been a lot of highs and a lot of lows for many drivers. And there will be some drivers who feel out of position in this final. Actually, I say they feel. There will be some drivers who, on an average day, are out of position. So it's going to be very interesting, this one. I'm afraid I've lost the box of tricks in the comms box that from which we were getting the grid, which is old-fashioned. What's this weird? This is like a screen, but it's flexible, Andrew. What's this stuff called?
I think it's called paper.
Okay.
And I think
It
that
appears to have
stuff
a
on it's
grid on it.
called ink.
Okay. Oh, right.
Sorry,
Blimey.
folks, my laptop's gone down,
That's
so our
that's
live
fine.
timing is now my phone.
Right. Thank you to the guys up here who just printed out the
Not the
grids for us.
fault of Alpha Live. This
No.
is my fault.
Yes.
Highly professional. I left my laptop charger at home.
So let's talk through the grid of the B final then. It's going to be Owen Burton on pole. No, this is kart number allocations rather than grid
Yep.
positions.
So put Kieran to the back.
Right, okay. But the rest are all in...
Yes.
I'm with you. Right, so Owen Burton is going to be on pole. Matthew Clark is going to be alongside. Tim Morangan, we had a really good interview with Tim earlier on in the box. He's going to be starting from third on the grid. Stuart Hoyle will be fourth. Matt Spencer fifth. Andy Summers, he'll be starting sixth. Peter Horsley, he had a really good first heat. He'll be starting seventh. Eighth will be Andreas Zavistauskas. Ninth, Andrew Brown. 10th, Richard Olive. 11th will be Fraser Edge. 12th, Samuel Taylor. 13th, Stephen Johnson. 14th, James Willis. 15th, Ollie Ellis Richardson. Andrew, that's not a name I knew before this evening, but he's definitely shown a really impressive turn of pace this evening. I would say he feels out of position, and it's going to be interesting to see how far he can come up the order. 16th will be Dan Fox, and then 17th on the grid will be your C final winner, someone we believe to be at their first NKL event. Sorry if we're wrong, Kieran, but it's your first one we've seen you at this year. Kieran Shanks So well done to him already for the C final win. They'll all be in it to win it. The winner gets the A final promotion. So this is going to be a really interesting one. Light is beginning to fade here. We're definitely into, well, we've had sunset. We're now into twilight. Once again, Andrew, I look at my watch and go, blimey, is that the time? It's just, you know, it's non-stop. It sounds cheesy when I say it, but it is non-stop action, such that I haven't really looked away from any of the screens or looked at a clock for a while. Owen Burton it is who takes up his position on pole. Pole's on the left here at Whilton Mill, as the driver looks at it. And we're going to have 10 laps. So, yeah, light is fading, but don't worry, we have floodlights at the circuit. Although, only the national layout is floodlit, but I don't think we're not going to be racing to the point where we've only got this race and one other, so we're still going to have plenty of light to race by. So, I think we're going to see quite a bit of moving about. Owen Burton's generally had a pretty good evening, but he'll be hoping to hold on to this position and go one final better. We're just waiting for the last few karts to take their positions. You can see Kieran Shanks. You can see him there on your screens if you're watching the Northants Waste Control live stream. We've got a driver with hand in the air. Just raising a concern there, maybe. I think that might be Samuel Taylor, but I could be wrong, because I'm calling that from counting back from the grid. Just dealing with that driver's concern. Driver's exiting the kart, so I think we're going to get a little bit of a breather here.
Should state as well, for the podium of the D&M Removals weighted class, this is an important one. Whoever is the highest D&M Removals weighted class driver in this race will be on the class podium. Because we've had...
Yep, sorry, it was just a seat insert the driver wanted, so we're straight looking at the lights. Sorry, Andrew, to cut across, but we're away. It's a great start from Burton on pole. He's really got the clappers on. He's already into the lead. It wasn't such a good start from the far side of the grid, or the non-pole side of the grid. As they go up, you can see Burton's taking a defensive line into Christmas, so he's going to hold on to that. Haven't quite caught who it was who got up to second as someone goes rally crossing at the back of the field, but they've been able to rejoin the track. On the whole, that was clean. As you can probably make out, they're racing under the floodlights here now at Whilton Mill. Good first lap so far, it's clean. Peter Horsley, I think, has made a few gains. But we're going to look as they come round. Because if I'm honest, it's all too close to call. And if I tell you the order now, it's going to be out of date. So we look as they come across the line. It will be Owen Burton who leads. Owen Burton will be first. It's Matthew Clark who got up to second there at the start. James Willis went down to third. Stephen Johnson fourth. Andreas Zavistauskas fifth. Stuart Hoyle sixth. Seventh is Peter Horsley. Eighth, Matt Spencer. Ollie Ellis-Richardson is already up to ninth, up 6 positions on that first lap. And Tim Morangan rounds out your top 10. But look at this. Owen Burton has Matthew Clark for company. These two both want promotion. But this is where you get into the strategy of sprint racing, Andrew. Never let it be said that there's no strategy behind sprint racing. Do these two work together to pull out the gap and guarantee that it's at least one of them going through to the A final, or does Matthew Clark just go for it now? Meanwhile, it's side by side for third place into the boot. This is Stephen Johnson and James Willis contesting over third place, and I think Johnson may have got by. We're waiting for timing to update here to confirm that. This is the problem when the light's going. It's more, it's a little bit more guesswork from us as Burton. No, there wasn't a change of position. Look at this, Burton, and there was a bit of a, that was a Nigel Mansell-esque selling of the dummy there by Matthew Clark, but it didn't pay off into Christmas. But he tried to go left and then went right. I commend the move. I like to see, I like the planning there. That was nice. But it didn't pay off for him there. It's still Owen Burton defending hard against Matthew Clark. Clark pulls out left to have a look into Parker's, but it's still not on there. They're not really pulling away from the others here. Stephen Johnson's keeping in touch with them, albeit about a second and a half back, something like that. So these two don't want to start battling too much, but Owen Burton so far is soaking up the pressure well.
Got to mention, how crucial is this race going to be as Ollie Ellis Richardson throws a move up the inside and retakes 8th place on the very man I was just about to speak about, Matt Spencer. How crucial is this race in the battle for the D&M Removals weighted class? Matt Spencer, I think, for one of the only times so far this season in the B final, when his championship rival Connor Marsh already in the A.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe, Andrew, this is just me speculating here, but are the weighted drivers potentially slightly more disadvantaged here because we have slightly more slower corners on the international layout? That's just me completely speculating off the wall, but possibly slightly harder because they've got to get drive out of Ashby as well as out of Christmas and out the boot. But
this battle continuing to rage on between Burton and Clark.
Yep.
And I have to say, Owen Burton, with my favourite race helmet of the NKL, for completely unbiased reasons.
I've got to check that the next time it comes round. I'm going to have a look.
Burton goes defensive, trying to hold off Matt Clark here.
Oh, and look at this, further back. This is Peter Horsley et al. Contesting. Who's that? That's
James
Hoyle
Willis
and
and
Stuart
Hoyle.
Hoyle. Yeah.
Gotta say, Peter Horsley is having a cracker tonight.
Yeah.
This has been, for me, by far his best performance in the NKL overall as an evening so far this year.
Yeah,
really
James,
good to see.
I think James Willis may have come out on top there. I'm not sure. Again, we'll have to check that as they come round. But so far at the front, Owen Burton's they're still not done competing over fourth place here.
Here come the leaders to start a new lap. You can't quite see it from this angle, Howard.
It's got a red and white stripe.
No, it's what's on top.
It's what's on top. Okay. Oh, is there a rose on top?
Maybe.
Is there a white rose of Yorkshire?
Maybe.
Okay.
There it is.
Yes, indeed there is.
And it's majestically leading this race at the moment.
Appeal to any Lancastrian drivers. Come on down here and we'll have a proper history buff of a commentary session. War of the Roses sells well as a karting battle poster, I think. Right, Owen Burton is defending from Matthew Clark. He's done a fantastic job so far. He's only halfway through the race, though. I say only. It probably feels like only for him because he probably wants this to end. And Matthew Clark has a little cheeky look there. And meanwhile, look at this further down the field. This is Peter Horsley, Stuart Hoyle, and still James Willis contesting over fourth place. They're not done. Actually, I think Willis might be slightly further up the road now, so it's Stuart Hoyle with Peter Horsley. And who's that just behind them? Is it Aaron? No, it's Andy Summers.
Yep.
So I only have AS on the screen here at the moment. So plenty of battling going on down the field. The leaders are as close as they've ever been, though. Here they are working their way through the top part of the circuit. Matthew Clark, they're close because Matthew Clark's just set the fastest lap of the race at 56.716.
And Stephen Johnson not too far behind, a 56.884 last time around. They're going defensive again as running wide. Is that Willis running wide?
I think it might be, yes.
We'll have to check that as they come back round. But back to this lead battle between Burton and Clark. Clark goes to the inside, looking up the inside into the boot. Can he get the braking done? Hard on the brakes. Still side by side through the boot. Is Clark going to have the cut back towards the last corner? Yes, I think he is going to have the chance. Brilliant move. Brilliantly constructed move there by Matthew Clark.
They're not done.
They're not done. They're not done at all. Side by side again through turn one.
And look out for Johnson here because he's going to be all over them like a vulture if these two mess it up. It looks like Owen Burton's going to have the inside line going into Christmas, so he's going to retake the lead. Brilliant battling so far. I've got to give it to
They've switched. Clark round the outside on the exit of Christmas.
I've got to hand it to Matthew Clark. He's been brilliant at opening up these little opportunities. He's had cheeky looks when he's had an opportunity, he's not necessarily doing an overtaking attempt, but feigning to the inside to have a look. He's sold the dummy a couple of times. He's really trying to open up or has been really trying to open up some really good overtaking opportunities, and it's paid off so far because he's in the lead and they've just got 2.5 laps to go. But Owen Burton, he's led most of this race. He is not going to want to take this one. Well, he's not going to want to have this without a fight. He's going to be fighting him all the way.
Can he line the move up into Christmas? Because Clark's gone a little bit defensive through the initial part of turn 1 and 2. I think he's going to have a good run. They're side by side again. They're side by side going up to Christmas for the lead in the B final. Can Burton do it on the brakes? No. Clark's going to hold it round the outside. Brilliant defensive driving. Once again using the camber of the road up there. Matthew Clark retains the lead.
There's some brilliant fighting going throughout the field. I wish we could cover it all, but right now all eyes are on this lead battle. The winner of this not only gets the bragging rights of winning the B final, but gets the all-important, well, not only also gets the championship points, also gets promoted to the A final to earn better, even more points. So, they're coming around the boot for the penultimate time. They're going to come round on to the last lap of the race.
This has got to be one of the closest B finals we've had in the Northampton Karting League this year.
Absolutely.
Last lap. This one's not over. Matthew Clark leads in the number 3. Owen Burton is second.
He's got better drive.
Third.
He's got better drive off the corner, Andrew, up the hill. Is he going to be able to capitalise on it? I don't think he is. I think Clark's got the inside line going in, so he's going to go defensive, but Burton's going to try and get better drive. Keep eyes on Johnson. He's going to be ready to capitalise if this goes wrong. Is there going to be on for Ashby? Burton's trying up the inside, but Matthew Clark's bowled on the brakes and is able to hold on to it. Carries good speed through the corner. He now has to hold on through Parker's. Another opportunity will be on for Burton in Chapman's if he's close enough, but he's dropped back slightly after his attempt through Ashby, so I think he's going to try and line this all up for one final attempt through the boot.
It can all change here. Matthew Clark's just got to be calm and steady through the boot. He's done the first bit of it. Can he do the second bit of it? Is there any sort of undercut for Burton? No, there's not going to be. What a race this has been, and what a win for Matthew Clark. He goes into the A final here at Whilton Mill. The win is by 0.144 of a second over Owen Burton. Howard, that was one of the races of the NKL this year. That was fantastic.
Absolutely agreed. I'm sorry, there's still things being negotiated here. We've got, that's Andreas Zavistauskas. And actually, can we confirm the result of this one?
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, we were getting so excited. We've lost all the screens. It's all gone, I'll tell you what else we put on. We'll put this very poignant and very correct comment from James Shrimpton. Absolutely agree, James. That was a superb battle. Slight case, of course, now it's all said and done of the one that got away for Owen Burton, but he can hold his head up high as having a really superb battle. That's one of the battles of the year, I think.
Matthew Clark wins the B final here at Whilton Mill for round 5 of the Northampton Karting League for 2017. Owen Burton comes home in second place. Stephen Johnson is third, and Stuart Hoyle is fourth. Excuse me. Andy Summers is fifth, and top D&M Removals weighted class runner for this evening. Andy Summers will be on the podium for the class. 6th place for Peter Horsley, 7th for James Willis, 8th for Ollie Ellis Richardson. Hope we see you back, Ollie, because we've enjoyed your stuff tonight. 9th place for Dan Fox, 10th for Matt Spencer, your D&M Removals weighted class championship leader before tonight. I don't think he's going to retain that lead, leaving Whilton Mill here this evening. 11th place for Tim Morangan, 12th for Andrew Brown, 13th for Samuel Taylor, 14th for Kieran Shanks, 15th for Andreas Savitauskas, 16th Richard Olive, and 17th Fraser Edge. Boy, that was a good race. Right, we're getting ready for our A final. We might be having some good interviews. I can see Howard, he's up, he's down. He's down again. He's going down to the grid. So, hopefully we'll have a chat with some of our drivers. And I think for the first time this year, all of our drivers who we'd expect to be in the A final are all here. Throughout the year so far, especially at round 4 when the wet weather threw in a bit of a wild card, we've always had that one driver it's not been the same one. It's gone around, but we've always had one or two drivers not quite make it, get stuck in the B final. But this is some grid for the round 5 A final. Brandon Williams, championship leader, starts from pole position. Second place, Ronan Mackenzie Allen. There he is. Third place, Gareth Haynes. So those are 3 strong drivers we've had so far. Fourth place, must admit, I'm not quite sure. Didn't quite catch that. Tom Kitchener's up there. Can see him on the move. Lewis Diamond. Good to see Lewis up in the A final. Might be Jamie Tyler, I think, in 4th place. He's had a good evening so far. It's definitely Williams from Mackenzie Allen. Haynes 3rd. Who else can we see out there? Matt's one of the Spencers there. I think it's Carl Spencer there in 7th place. But very, very interesting so far this evening. There's a Howard on a screen. And hopefully we can pass down to him right now.
Well, hopefully you can hear me. Absolutely wonderful that we are able to give you at least one grid walk. We've formed up most of the grid though, so I'm just going to get some quick thoughts. We spoke to Brandon Williams earlier. So, Gareth, hello. It's been a good evening for you so far. Just one row to overtake and then you're home, right?
Well, hopefully, yeah. It's what I'm planning today.
All the best, have a good one. Oh, blimey, we haven't got... Oh, careful of the wire. Do excuse me, there's been so much event, I can't remember what the grid is. Who have we got in 4th? We got Jamie. Jamie, you've had an eventful one as well. It's been quite an evening. You reckon you can take this one?
Yeah, see how it goes. Got a few fast boys in front of me and around me, but we'll have to play it from here.
Good stuff, all the best. Right, well, we're all formed up, and I don't want to delay a race like this, so let's get on with it.
Here we go then, A final, round 5 of the NKL 2017 is going. It's a very even start between the front row, but Brandon Williams is going to lead into turn 1. Second place, Ronan Mackenzie follows him through, and all 18 drivers going to make their way up towards Christmas Corner for the first time. 10 laps on the board to decide who's going to take maximum points in a crucial stage of the season. Gareth Haynes has held it there in 3rd place. Dante Dillon up to 5th place from the middle of the grid. It's all going on in the lower parts of the top 10. And Dillon's wide. Dillon very wide and rejoins the track. Keeps it going in the right direction, but that's not good for one of the heat winners earlier this evening at all. So drama on lap 1, but Brandon Williams leads. Ronan Mackenzie second, but no, Gareth Haynes up the inside takes 2nd place away from Mackenzie Allen. Mackenzie Allen trying to fight back, and he's going to fight back and retake 2nd place. What a dramatic first lap. But here, championship leader Brandon Williams leads, and leads comfortably. He's already got 1.2 seconds on the rest of the field. It's all going on in the lower parts of the top 10 again. Lewis Diamond involved there in the Michael Schumacher replica helmet. Up the hill, 3 wide up the hill on lap 2. Tom Kitchener's involved there in the red and white, trying to fight his way through. Ben Hamlet, who's had a very impressive evening so far. Howard, what a start to this A final.
I leave it for 2 minutes. And oh, who's this?
Oh, it's Diamond.
Diamond's up wide.
He recovers.
I'll leave it for 2 minutes and it all kicks off. It's less than 2 minutes here. This is absolutely incredible racing here. And, oh, they're 3 wide across the back straight. 4 wide going into the boot. Dante Dillon's in amongst all that battle. This is just the battle over 12th place. I know we're looking up front, but there are some superb jostling for position going on further back as they cross the line at the end of lap 2.
Right, let's catch our breath. Brandon Williams is 1.8 seconds in the lead now, ahead of Ronan Mackenzie Allen. Gareth Haynes, 3rd, and up the inside. Is that a move from Ben Hamlet on Jamie Tyler for 4th? Can't quite make out if he... Yes, I think he did. He has made it through. Hamlet up into 4th place there. Great move into Christmas Corner. Tom Kitchener's having a battle there with Andy Spencer. This is all going on in this A final. I said we'd got all the big boys in this one for the first time this year. They are putting on a proper show here at Whilton Mill.
Yeah, the battle for 2nd place is still going on fiercely, but they're doing the smart thing, Andrew. Gareth Haynes and Ronan McKenzie are working together. No challenge at the moment from Haynes on McKenzie. They're trying to catch up to Brandon Williams, but that is easier said than done. Black flag for the number 30.
And that's Andy Spencer.
That's big.
Hang on, no, it's not. Sorry, Aaron Shelton.
Aaron Shelton. Sorry. There's too many AS initials.
It's Aaron Shelton in the D&M Removals.
Second place into Christmas Corner, Gareth Haynes. I said he was holding station. Scrap that idea. He's got up the inside of Ronan McKenzie, and he's now got second place done and dusted as Lewis Diamond's round at Christmas Corner. He's now recovered it, but he's having an eventful one, is Lewis.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like Lewis Diamond's bad luck has come back to haunt him here in this A final. There is your new driver in second place, Gareth Haynes, in the blue and white, now leading ahead of Ronan McKenzie on the road. And just behind them, I think if we see the shot, look, Ben Hamlet is right there. He is right there now for the battle for second place.
We're seeing on screen now at the moment, this is the battle, James Saunders and
Connor
Marsh and all of those lot around the latter part of the top 10. It's here, it has to be said, that we've also seen the black flag for the number 30 of Aaron Shelton, sorry, yes.
Which, barring any disasters, means Connor Marsh is going to win the D&M Removals weighted class this evening, because he's one of two drivers here in the A final from the weighted class, the other, of course, being Shelton.
Change for second. Ben Hamlet is up the inside of Gareth Haynes, I believe, into Ashby, and he's now up into second place. And this is all allowing Brandon Williams to clear off down the road, it has to be said. Still 6 laps to go, so half the race... Sorry, 5 laps to go now, because he's about to cross the line.
Well, cool and calm as you like, Brandon Williams starts a new lap on what should be, barring any disasters, his 3rd win in the NKL A finals this season. And it would be a big, big statement in this battle for the championship, which at the moment he leads.
And Andy Spencer has just got to the head of a right royal battle happening over 6th place. They're all separated by mere tenths. If you're watching the live stream, you can see the gaps on the left-hand side of the screen, 6th, 7th. They're mere tenths apart, the gap to the leader. Andy Spencer now comes to the head of that field. So he's working hard there. Dante Dillon is in amongst all of those as well. You can see them all. These are all for position here. Still the black flag being shown for the number 30, Andrew.
Yep, which is Aaron Shelton. The Williams family liking this at the moment. Brandon leads by, well, it was 3 seconds last time around. What can Ben Hamlet do?
Well, you know what, Andrew? He's trying his best. He's broken the toe of the likes of Gareth Haynes and Ronan McKenzie. And Ben Hamlet is now challenging. He's now moving up as we've got
Dante Dillon up to 8th.
Yep, change for position there in the lower part. The lower part of the top 10 has been so hotly contested in virtually every single race this evening. I know everyone there would like to be higher up, but this is absolutely nose-to-tail racing we've seen throughout the evening in the midfield here. You're now looking at the battles. That battle coming through, 4 abreast. Someone's on the grass there. That is the battle for about 12th.
I think that's Jamie Tyler going backwards.
Yeah, it's Jamie Tyler. James Saunders, I believe, is at the top of this field as well. These are all the people who are about 12 seconds. They're a couple of seconds back from the Andy Spencer, Dante Dillon, Jamie Tyler battle that we were talking about. And they're contesting over the teens positions. It is all to play for everywhere. And as I say that, I look out my window and Gareth Haynes is now under severe pressure from Ronan McKenzie as they head up the hill for this lap.
And Jamie Tyler's in the pits. Unfortunately for Jamie Tyler, that's the end of his race. There's more black flags. Dante Dillon, I think, has received a black flag. The number 11 and number 9, James Saunders.
That's big. That
second place in the championship.
That's really significant. Brandon Williams is getting everything falling his way at the moment, Andrew. Here, though, we're looking at the battle, and as well we might. This is the battle for 3rd. Gareth Haynes leads. Ronan McKenzie leads. Tom Kitchener. Tom Kitchener's had an eventful evening as well. He's had an
eventful season.
He's had an eventful season. Who is going to emerge top of this battle as well?
Kitchener up the inside takes 4th. Really good move there by Tom Kitchener into the first part of the boot. Can he hold it on the exit? Yes, he can. Locks it down. Beautiful move there by Tom Kitchener, and now he sets his sights on Gareth Haynes in third.
Ben Hamlet is eating away at the gap between himself and Brandon Williams as Dante Dillon comes in to serve his black flag. Doing the right thing there, has to be noted. Brandon Williams has a 2.3 second gap, as I say. Ben Hamlet is eating into it, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough with just, well, it's basically 1 and 2/3 laps left. So it's going to be interesting as Mackenzie is up the inside of Haynes through Ashby, but Haynes is still alongside. He's going to be inside into Parkers, and he's going to be able to hold on to third place. It's fourth place now because Tom Kitchener is ahead of them in third here. Still a brilliant battle raging, and now on the scene comes Carl Spencer. He's straight up the inside into the boot.
James Saunders hasn't yet pitted for his black flag. The last lap board is out.
Okay.
The last lap board is out for Brandon Williams.
Still a black flag being shown for the number 9.
And
which is
the
James
number
Saunders.
30 is not pitted for its black flag as well. Never mind that for now, because we've got to focus on this last lap here at Whilton Mill for round 5 of the NKL for 2017.
This is the battle for third that you're seeing on screen. This is still Tom Kitchener leading Gareth Haynes ahead of Carl Spencer, who's ahead of Ronan McKenzie. This has been a fierce battle all race, but we've got to look to the front pretty soon because our leader is now on the back straight. Brandon Williams, what an evening he's had. What a season he's having. This is his first full NKL season, and he is continuing his domination of it. Brandon Williams is going to come round to take the win of the A final. He's going to win round 5 of the Northampton Karting League for 2017. It's his second in a row.
And third this season.
Absolutely incredible tally that is.
Ben Hamlet had some very good pace in the end. He was closing in on Brandon Williams. He takes second place. A fantastic third place for Tom Kitchener in the A final. Carl Spencer takes fourth place and sets the fastest lap of the race on the last lap, a 55.887. Fifth for Gareth Haynes. He's been a big factor in proceedings this evening. Sixth for Ronan Mackenzie Allen. Seventh for Andy Spencer on his return to the NKL after missing round 4. Eighth, and takes victory in the D&M Removals weighted class, the number 27 Connor Marsh. Ninth for Daniel Burgess. 10th for James Saunders, but as we saw, he had a black flag, so I'm not sure whether that 10th place will stand.
I'd be very surprised if it did.
11th place for Andrew Strikes. He's been a really good driver to watch this evening. 12th for Pedro Baptista, solid result for him. 13th for Matthew Clark, who won the B final. 14th for Lewis Diamond, who had issues. 15th for Dante Dillon, who had to serve a penalty. 16th for Jamie Tyler, and 17th, and now, yes, the order has rejigged itself. James Saunders dropped to the bottom in 17th, so in the end it's Strikes 10th, Baptista 11th, Clark 12th, Diamond 13th, Dillon 14th, Aaron Shelton, who also had a penalty in 15th, and Jamie Tyler, who pulled off in 16th. Wow, what a round! What a round 5 here at Whilton Mill for the Northampton Karting League for 2017.
I think the last round was about
Survival.
being impressive by staying on the road. This round has been about being impressive by being firm but fair on the road. We've seen a little bit of controversy this evening, it's fair to say, but in the finals, I think on the whole, Andrew, we have seen some fantastic racing. The standard of driving in the comms was sorry, excuse me, not the comms. Sorry, I've got some. Sorry, that's what happens in the production banner in the box. So we had some fantastic racing in the finals, and there you go, mate. I was trying to write here and talk at the same time.
We can't.
That was never going to work. The fantastic racing in the finals, I think, on the whole, Andrew, I think we did see an improvement in driving standards there, which is, if you can't have brilliant driving standards throughout the evening, the least you can hope for is to see it improve as time goes on. So I don't know what you think, but I think slightly better. And what racing we did have right through all the finals. That's what's important. The C final is an impressive win for Kieran Shanks, but a brilliant battle for second place in that final. The battle for the lead in the B final. That's one of my highlights of the year.
Season, yeah.
And
Really good
and
stuff.
then the A final as well. Brilliant battling. Well done again to Brandon Williams.
Well, Brandon Williams has just been a cut above the rest this evening here at Whilton Mill for round 5 of the NKL 2017, and he extends his championship lead with that third A final win of the season. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this evening here at Whilton Mill. I'd just like to take this moment to give thanks to all the staff at Whilton Mill.
Absolutely.
For their efforts this evening and what's been a really good event, and especially with the incident that they had earlier, really good to see the response and that everybody goes home safe and sound. So well done to all of them, well done to all of our marshals, well done to all of our crew here with Alpha Live.
I'm going to give a shout out to Ian Cam again. I think it's Ian who's been manning that camera on the balcony. Whenever you've seen a shot of the paddock or a panning shot through the last corner, that's been Ian. He's had slightly better conditions to do it in than last month, but I still can't say I envy him. Stood up on that balcony all night filming that, so shout out to him and to Luke and to James who've made the live stream possible. Thank you to everybody who's been commenting as well. It's been a really good evening for interaction with the people watching at home, around the country. You know, it's been really good. I've been told I'm still getting viewing figures that are incredible. I'm getting, 10,000 people apparently have interacted with this stream tonight. So that's yes, thank you so much for supporting the Northants Waste Control live stream of the Northampton Karting League. It really does mean a lot to us. And whilst we're on that, we should also give a shout out to the sponsors as well. Thank you to Northants Waste Control who support the live stream, D&M Removals who support the weighted class, Simply Race who support the team's championship, which is sort of run informally at the moment, and I say that informally only because we haven't been told who's won it up here, but that's all done, that's all worked out by Luke and the guys. Frank's Hamburger House as well supports the series, and without the support we couldn't do this, so we're really grateful to them.
Cheers, Howard. Thanks for all your help and assistance tonight.
It's been a pleasure. It's been an eventful one.
A couple of things to follow if you don't already do. Follow us at on Facebook at ARM Motorsport Media to see what myself and Howard are up to. Lots of interesting stuff coming up over the next few months. And on the similar note, follow the new at Alpha Live Facebook page for all what Luke and James and Will and Ian and everyone involved with the stream are doing. More and more stuff is going to be done by Alpha Live, I can assure you, over the coming months. So do follow that. And if you don't do so already, I'm not quite sure how you're watching this stream if you don't, but follow at the NKL, the Northampton Karting League. Do the search on Facebook, find the page, like the page, and receive all the information, especially if you want to join us for future rounds. So that's it. Brandon Williams is your winner once again here at Whilton Mill in the Northampton Karting League. That was round 5 for the 2017 championship. My name's been Andrew Mather. His name's been Howard Mitchell. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again for round 6 in August. Again, the first Monday of the month. Good night, everybody. Take care.